Hello and welcome to day 2 of the Race of Champions, where for the first time in its 30-year history, the competition has come to the Middle East. Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia and home to a population of 6 million people, plays host to this year's event. Despite plenty of remnants from its past, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is actually less than 100 years old, built on the wealth of being the world's biggest producer and exporter of oil. Today we're focusing on the King Fahd Stadium. It took 10 days to build this circuit, and the famous Race of Champions crossover bridge is back. The Race of Champions is a knockout competition where the world's greatest drivers from the major disciplines of motorsport battle to prove they're the fastest on Earth. Through a series of head-to-head races in identical cars, the stars fight it out to prove they have what it takes to be crowned champion of champions. Each race sees them tackle different halves of the circuit simultaneously until they've covered the same distance. Drivers are split into 4 groups of 4 and a point is awarded for the winner of each heat. The winner of each group then moves into the quarter-finals. From there, it's back to a head-to-head, no second chances, knockout competition to get to the semi-finals and then the grand final. Just as with all the world's great cup competitions, the tension builds all the way through to this best-of-3 shootout, where there can be only one champion of champions. Well, here are the drivers who will be fighting for that title, champion of champions. Of course, there was Juan Pablo Montoya, who won the title in Miami on his debut. Ryan Hunter-Reay, he's been a regular. We've got some world champions with us, world endurance champions. We've got some legends, Tom Christensen. The Germans, of course, won yesterday's Rock Nations Cup. We've got some sim racers taking part. Going to be an absolutely fantastic day of competition. All the drivers well received, especially, of course, the locals, with competitors from Saudi Arabia here taking part. There was Petasoa Yazid Al-Raji, great performance from him yesterday. Spun the truck in competition. The crowd absolutely loved that. He was unlucky to miss out. Fantastic, though. Great atmosphere here. The fans experiencing, of course, Race of Champions in the Middle East for the very first time. Now, we had a pre-qualifying round earlier on to find out who would go through to the final selection of drivers for the Race of Champions. First up was Memo Rojas versus Abraham Calderon. They went out in the Bull carbon fibre aluminium sports car. And as you can see, it was Rojas who claimed his place in the Race of Champions. Next up, the E-Rock racers, the sim racers. Rudy Van Buren, who's McLaren's simulator driver thanks to winning McLaren's fastest racer, and he was the fastest racer this time out as well, knocking out Enzo Benito, who qualified yesterday through E-Rock and actually did a really good job. A sim racer, never done any motorsport before, very impressive. Next up, Joel Eriksson for Sweden, who unfortunately crashed out yesterday in the Nations Cup, but didn't this time put in a great performance to beat Mansour Chebli, and it was in the car as well that he crashed yesterday. So good confidence builder for Joel Eriksson. He'll be looking to perform better today in the Race of Champions overall. On to the final of the qualifying races. Ahmed Bin Karnan versus Khalid Al-Khabaisi in the Rock car. All the drivers enjoying driving this sequential box. Gravel tyres, so it moves around a lot. Sideways on the way round to the finish line, but it was Ahmed Bin Karnan who claimed the final place in the Race of Champions. So there you go, these are the guys who qualified: Memo Rojas and Rudy Van Buren, Joel Eriksson and Ahmed Bin Karnan. The others will go no further this weekend, but they've had a fantastic time competing alongside some of the world's best drivers, so great to have seen them here with us. My name is Andrew Coley. I'll be commentating for you. I'm joined by Neil Cole, who is a veteran of the Race of Champions. Down in the paddock, we have Jenny Gow and David Croft reporting for us, and they will be reporting on these groups. So Group A, Juan Pablo Montoya, Helio Castro Neves, Ryan Hunter-Reay and Memo Rojas. Those guys will all race each other once, and that will determine which of them goes through to the quarter-finals. They're going to be interspersed, in fact, with drivers from Group B as well. So we'll be bringing the scores on the doors as we go. It's going to be in a variety of different cars, and the action is going to be fantastic. Neil Cole was alongside me yesterday for 3 hours of Rock Nations Cup fun. The German rookies 1-0 as 8th win for Germany. Good form from them. But the great thing about Race of Champions for me this year is we've got a lot of new young talent, and we saw yesterday any of them can win.
Yeah, well, this event started in 1988, so it's 30 years of Race of Champions, and the list of previous winners, from Juha Kankkunen and Stig Blomqvist through Francois Delacour, Tommy Mäkinen, Sebastian Loeb, Marcus Gronholm. You know, there's some legends in there, and there's some legends in the stadium today.
Getting things underway then with the aerial atoms. We have Ryan Hunter-Reay and Juan Pablo Montoya. The flags for the nations are on the top of the car, as you can see, but remember today they are racing for themselves, not for their country, so it's all about them. They don't have to worry if somebody else has a problem or how hard they're going to push, what they're going to come up against.
So last year in Miami, Juan Pablo Montoya was the shock winner. He won Race of Champions. He is the reigning champion of champions, flying the Colombian flag there. And at the split, it looks very, very even, doesn't it?
It does, and we expect to see more of a stagger than that on the splits. If they're even at the split, it usually means that one of the two drivers hasn't got quite the pace that they need. So is it Ryan Hunter-Reay or is it Juan Pablo Montoya who isn't quite there? We ride on board, you can see the passengers' feet braced up against the footwell, in fact moving across, look, as Montoya hurls the car into the left-hander. It's going to be close as they come round to the line for this one. Montoya is on the gas, but on the inside Hunter-Reay has less distance to cover, but it is going to be the reigning champion, Juan Pablo Montoya, who starts his defence in the best possible way with a win.
And of course, both from a background of Indy racing, so they will be very happy to face each other. But I think Ryan Hunter-Reay would have liked to have got yesterday's bad luck out of the way and start today with a win, because of course Team USA did not do great in the Rock Nations Cup. So that's 1-0 to Juan Pablo Montoya.
It is. Can he do it again?
Nice
Big
air
jump
there.
Yeah, nice jump. The chicane was put in place to try and stop the drivers from flying, but you can't stop a driver who wants to have a big push.
So just to explain this circuit, as you can see, it's back to the format that we saw in Paris and the Stade de France, that we saw in London, in Wembley Stadium, in Dusseldorf. It's a parallel track, figure of 8, with the crossover bridge.
Next car's coming up to the line, and these guys are from Group B. So remember, we're going to be alternating between Group A and Group B. They'll only face the drivers in their own group. It's the next stage at which, of course, they'll face the relative winners of each group. So this one, Tom Kristensen, David Coulthard, Rudy Van Buren and Timo Bernhard. Bernhard lining up in the first race against Tom Kristensen on the outside. TK, a Race of Champions legend. Timo Bernhard, now a legend because, of course, he won with Germany yesterday. Let's get them off the line. Oh, wheel spin for Kristensen, but it looked like the faster reaction time, but we know how fast Bernhard was from yesterday.
Yeah, and this is interesting because TK, Tom Kristensen, Mr. Le Mans himself, has been in so many finals in the Race of Champions and been beaten. He's always the bridesmaid, never the bride at Race of Champions, and he regularly gets beaten in the final by rookies.
Well, we've seen both these guys pushing hard. So Kristensen there ran wide, definitely a few feet off one of the apexes, and then Bernhard in the other buggy over the top of the jump brushed the tyres down the side. If there were stickers on the side of those tyres, and again contact there, I think is that Kristensen the outside. So both these guys could stand to get a warning. If they touch the barrier twice, then it will go on. He's out wide, Bernhard. We're on board though with Kristensen over the bridge. So both these guys pushing really hard. As I say, if they touch the wall twice or any of the barriers twice, they can be given a 5-second penalty. We normally see that on our timing screens, and we will of course do our best to bring that to you. But it is Kristensen in the outside lane that's done the best job here, up towards the line. He takes the first win of the day in his group over Timo Bernhard.
Now that'll be a great feeling for the very expressive Great Dane himself, because he wanted to get an early win, and he's very consistent. I was lucky enough to travel in the extreme pickup with him during practice days, and he was so precise, even in that big car. So he will be really happy to beat one of yesterday's Rock Nations Cup champions.
Interesting when you see Kristensen's eyes after the race. They look emotional, and the reason for that is actually they're watering because they barely blink when they're driving, particularly on a long race circuit. You've got time to blink on the straight. They have no time to blink here. He reaches the end of the race, you can see he's blinking, he's desperately trying. With the dust here, of course, we're in a desert environment. It's windy today as well, so there's a little bit more dust about. Look at this. This was Bernhard running those tyre stickers down the outside of the wall. Both these guys on the limit, and it was Kristensen who took the win. was a proper smile. He's almost falling out the side of the car.
That's great to see. But we have to sort of stress that, as Andrew just said, the surface is dusty. There is sand. Sand settles on every surface because we're in the middle of a desert. And also, even though in the rest of the Northern Hemisphere, many of us are in the freezing cold, looking here thinking, oh, sunshine, it must be really hot in Saudi Arabia. It is not. It's chilly, and it's getting chillier in the stadium, which means that the tarmac is cold. So the tyres are cold, the tarmac is cold, so they have to really try and judge levels of grip as soon as they come off the start line.
Particularly these first runners. Here is Memo Rojas, 2017 ELMS champion, a Grand Am champion as well, but going up against Helio Castro-Neves, 3 times Indy 500 winner, 4 times IndyCar Series runner-up, 30 times IndyCar and kart race winner. So the man is a legend. He was great fun as well. We had him up in the commentary box yesterday. Helio thought he was out of the competition, then he was back in the competition. Fantastic fight all the way through to the final, where of course they got beaten by Germany. There's TK, puts the helmet back into the famous Racer Champions helmets down there. You get a picture of that when all the drivers' helmets are in there. It is quite the memento.
So, you know, Tom Christensen was beaten in the final in 2005 in Paris by Sebastian Loeb. He was beaten in the final by Matthias Ekstrom a few years later. He was beaten by Sebastian Ogier in the final. We can't stress enough about how much Tom Christensen needs to win before he retires from Race of Champions.
Maybe just keep going until he does win.
Yeah,
He's one ahead of you, Neil, so if one of you's got to retire in the end, you just keep coming back.
I'm never going to win. I don't think this is my
Is he even
year.
invited, do you think, anymore, or does he just turn up? Here we go, then the next 2 are rolling up to the line. Back to Group A, remember.
So this should be
Memo
interesting.
Rojas on the inside, Castro-Neves on the outside. Yeah, it should. Okay, revs up, red lights. 5 come on, then they'll all go out. Watch the Christmas tree in the middle. There we go. So the drivers don't actually get a green light. You get a green light at home. They're reacting to the lights going out, which is pretty standard across international motorsport these days. Now, tricky for these guys as well, Neil, because as the competition goes on, the cars will be warmed up. At the moment, they're not. We have practice there. So these guys are going out on cold tyres. And the guys who are in Group C and Group D are just going to get a bit more temperature, which is going to make things a bit more predictable. We did see yesterday, of course, the Ariel Atom is quite hard on the brakes. Got to get it right.
But someone like Memo Rojas, who's experienced in 24 hours, like a 3-time Daytona winner, he's used to jumping into a car and adjusting very quickly because of the driver changes during an endurance race. So that kind of switch-on, switch-off mindset shouldn't be a problem for him. And of course, Helio Castro-Neves won Dancing with the Stars, the American version of Strictly Come Dancing back in 2007. So he's pretty good with his feet.
Well, is he good enough with his feet this time? Coming around towards the finish. It's a good run in the outside lane, and it is indeed Helio Castro-Neves who takes it. And there, in fact, we saw a locked wheel after the finish line, just as we switched on the onboard there. You could see a locked wheel just as he jumped on the brakes and dragged it. And it was yesterday Joel Eriksson who put the car in the wall, and that was because it was cold and dusty, and it was one of these Ariel Atoms. The drivers are all saying on the brakes these cars are the trickiest to master, but a lot of them are also saying great fun to drive.
So there are 2 things to watch out for here. Turn 1, when you're coming full speed, like in the middle lap, you carry a lot of speed into where they're just coming through now. So at the end of this straight, the inside and the outside, you have to judge that long left-hander very differently, whether you're inside or outside, but it's fast. If you take it too fast, you could end up in the wall. And then the other tricky corners, as I understand it, are the left under the bridge, because you can go wide there, and the right after the bridge are 2 of the trickiest corners. So there's 2 very fast corners and 2 very tricky slow corners.
Into Group B again. Rudy Van Buren on the inside versus David Coulthard on the outside. Now, Coulthard, of course, needs no introduction from a Grand Prix point of view, but he is also a Race of Champions legend. He's done this a lot. He's used to switching cars for a while. Next to him is Rudy Van Buren, who's on his debut, of course, and has come from the e-racing background. So Van Buren was automatically qualified through for being McLaren's sim driver. And he beat one of his e-racing teammates earlier on today to qualify for the main Race of Champions. Glances the bridge going over the top. Now, if he's moved that by more than or less than 10 centimetres, and there'll be a judge effect down there to decide it. And from the common tradition, I think he's moved it quite a bit, but we'll let the stewards decide. He'll get a penalty for that potentially. So the round over the line and Coulthard leading.
The reason for those is because, of course, if you move that barrier too much, then the car coming around afterwards could be obstructed by the mess that you've left behind. So about 10 centimetres is allowed. Over it, you start getting warnings and then penalties.
Coulthard on a big push here. Super tidy though, really, really close in on the curbs. Fantastic aerial shot there. You can see Rudy Van Buren, who joined me yesterday commentating on E-Rock, which was our E-Racer Champions. As of next year, you will be able to enter that for sim racing. It's Coulthard who takes it, but if you were to win E-Rock, you might be here racing against him next year. So keep your eyes peeled for that on the Racer Champions social media channels.
But I'm hearing from the race control there's a 5-second penalty for Rudy Van Buren for hitting the barrier, so it must have been enough to move the barriers on the chicane on the bridge more than 10 centimetres to be worthy of a penalty. So even though David Coulthard won that fair and square, there's smoke coming out.
Yeah, Coulthard's car is looking very hot indeed. So.
I mean, he was on fire during that race, and that it looks like it's literally...
There's a lot of smoke coming out of Coulthard's car, so that's it's not necessarily a fire. It can just be radiators. It can be fluid leaking onto something, so that it will produce smoke pretty quickly. What's Coulthard saying?
He looks pretty calm.
Well, he's calm because he's won, so it doesn't actually matter, does it? It's happy days for him. Now let's see if we have another look at Van Buren and whether or not how much he moved that barrier. Say that the borderline, if you like, as we say, is 10 centimetres, and that's judged by. In fact, I think we've got somebody on top of the motocross jump. We can see from the commentary position who is able to see those barriers on the top there very clearly indeed. Well, these are the scores so far then. 4 races down. Of course, everybody has had a race each, but only 2 winners. Juan Pablo Montoya and Helio Castro Neves, who did very well yesterday in the Nations Cup. Are they going to do the same again today in the Race of Champions? Whenever you get a stadium, particularly when there's a roof pointing in like this stunning King Fahd International Stadium, it really does focus the noise in the middle. So great fun for these guys. So Memo Rojas on the outside, Ryan Hunter-Reay on the inside. Remember, both these guys lost their first races, so they're looking to get a win on the timing screen this time round. Better start on the inside lane for Ryan Hunter-Reay. Remember though, these cars are on cold tyres because they haven't been for a run yet, although interesting what Coulthard was saying about how the conditions are different. You remember yesterday, the Rock Nations Cup didn't start until, what was it, 8 p.m. Yeah, this will be finished by 7 p.m. So, you know, it's a full cycle earlier on in the day.
And you can still see patches of sunshine on parts of the track, and earlier it was all baked in sun. So there will be some warmth in this tarmac, more than yesterday, so they should have a little bit more grip to begin with. But look, they're both feathering the brakes through that long left-hander because they don't really know if they hit the gas too much, they're going to back this heavy car into the wall.
You can see Hunter-Reay there didn't get the car turned in quite as he wanted to on the way into the tunnel, just had to wait for the nose to come in.
I don't even know if I could get one of these round that tricky infield section, honestly.
It is tight, isn't it? But it looks like Hunter-Reay has done enough. Or so, yes, he has. Crosses the line to take the win. Rojas second, so Rojas now the only driver without a win.
I think Ryan will be happy with that. I think he's given himself at least a chance. If he can get one more win on the board, he's got a chance of going through to the quarters.
Well, of course, he was on the start line yesterday and had a problem with his car, didn't he? Which meant then that he had to do a rerun, and that's that horrible situation of full of adrenaline, getting the car ready to go. And it was tricky for us as well because it was the first race of the day, but he managed to get his rerun. So interestingly, the drivers have had the rules reinforced, let's say, today. And if there is a technical problem with the car after the start, I'm afraid you get disqualified. Well, you're eliminated. That's motorsport, is what they've said. Because yesterday the drivers were having maybe a slight problem, then they'd park the car and get a handy restart. They're very, very clever creatures.
So there's no parking the car on the start line this time. Also, they've been told by race control not to warm the tyres up too aggressively on the way to the start line because they could damage the drive shaft. So they've been told not to warm up the tyres too much because yesterday we saw a lot of wheel spinning on the way out of the car changing area up to the start.
They were also told, of course, on the first day not to change the settings in the cockpit, and they didn't do that either. So, you know, there's fingers in ears. There's telling people, and there's listening. So Rudy Van Buren on the outside, our E-Rock champion. On the inside, Timo Bernhard, who won the Nations Cup with his teammate last night for Germany.
And, of course, 24 Hours of Le Mans.
Well, there is that. Of course, this is his most recent title. And up and over the bridge, super tight in on the barriers. And that's what you need. You've got to be tight, but you mustn't clip them, obviously. And both these guys, Bernhard and Van Buren, also with no wins. So whichever one of these comes out of this with the win is with a chance of recovery. If they get a loss, pretty much they know they're going to struggle to make it through.
Now, it's good that we're seeing these crossbows for the first time, because Rudy will be familiar with this as a model on the sim, because he's been playing the Race of Champions E-Rock track a lot. This is the car that is built on that circuit, so he should know this extremely well. So he's got the best chance in this car to show what he can do against the best drivers in the world.
And I think he is going to have a chance to show what he can do here. It's going to be tight towards the finish line. Bernhard versus Van Buren down towards the line. Well done, Van Buren. So win for the simulator racer. Used to race go-karts, but is now McLaren simulator racer. Went away from motorsport for 7-8 years until his girlfriend said to him, look, there's another way in here through sim racing. And then McLaren had this sim racing competition last year, and Rudy Van Buren is now one of their team of simulator drivers, a job which he started a month ago. McLaren have employed a guy specifically to look at e-racing. These Formula One teams are convinced they're going to need these drivers for e-racing in future, but also they can give good feedback to the simulator. But that's not a good result for Timo Bernhard. He's now the only person in Group B who doesn't have a win. It's going to be extremely tough to qualify from there. Drivers climb out the cars. Yes, V8 noise.
He's like the Stig, doesn't need any branding. He's the world's fastest gamer.
I tell you, we did a good job here as well, a really good job. And interesting what you say about the fact that, say, this is the sim car. We are actually going to see later on gamers versus racers. So we've got a team of racing drivers and a team of esports athletes, and they're actually being mixed up, because what they thought was, I think what's going to happen here is the sim racers are going to thrash the real drivers. Of course, some of our drivers from an era when really there wasn't so much simulators, or certainly that simulators were in their very early days of development. So
ZX Spectrum.
Yeah, going to be fascinating to see. So back to Group A. On the line, Juan Pablo Montoya and Helio Castro-Neves in the NASCARs, away from the line. Great start on the inside through that one patch of sunshine in the stadium. So
yesterday they were teammates. Now they're dead set against each other. They are rivals.
Indeed, yeah. Had a good run yesterday, real roller coaster. Thought they were going home, then they weren't. Not quite sure what happened down there, but they managed to make it through, and then put in a fantastic performance. I say we were, you know, they were unlucky really to be beaten by Germany. It was very close margins all the way through. These cars are the biggest ones. There we go. Look, you cannot get closer to the wall than that. And all the drivers are saying just how hard it is to judge the length of the car. What a bit of a moment. So that's not what you want. The transition you want to help you, but the transition of weight there was too late.
So Helio
going to cost time. Yeah, going to be really, really close to the line. But it is, in fact, Helio has lost out with that sideways moment. Juan Pablo Montoya takes the win. So Montoya is the first driver in his group to go to 2 wins. Castro-Neves on 1, Ryan Hunter-Reay on 1. Memo Rojas with no wins so far.
But look at that, Montoya, 2 out of 2.
Yeah, so
did brilliantly yesterday with Helio as a teammate, and of course he is the reigning champion of champions. Just proving that he hasn't lost it. Last year wasn't a fluke. The wheels spin off the line, and it was Juan Pablo who made the most of it, and Helio was a little bit more ragged.
He was certainly sideways on that last lap, wasn't he? There's the jump there. We've got to have the steering straight. You can see if you've got the tiniest bit lock, and when it lands, fires the car off towards the wall.
But how heavy are these? All 4 wheels are off the ground. That's a heavy car.
Fantastic. Newgarden having a chat with Hunter-Reay. Those guys having a blast as well. Okay, here is the KTM Crossbow, 3.9 seconds 0 to 60, but 380 brake horsepower per tonne from the 2-litre 4-cylinder engine. And that is because this is a really lightweight car. So the total opposite of the NASCAR, just 790 kilograms.
And of course, it's a new version of the KTM Crossbow, because that's been a Race of Champions regular for many years, but this particular model was an upgrade which was launched last year, so that's why it said debut 2017, because this isn't new. They drove it last year, they're driving it this year, but the actual shape of the car and the car itself has been part of Race of Champions for years.
Look how relaxed the passenger's looking right now. He's got an arm on the side as if he's about to go cruising around the track.
Or go to the drive-through.
I'm willing to bet significant funds that arm will be well inside the car the moment they get towards turn one. But I like his relaxed style. So,
and just to explain, the passengers are there. They're VIPs, they're competition winners, they're guests, they're friends and family. But they're there for a reason, because when a car is a two-seater car, when a car has a passenger seat, it needs to be filled for the weight balance of the car. And of course, as you were saying yesterday, the individual passengers are in weight categories, so that every aspect of this car, every aspect of the competition is as fair as possible. Each car has to be identical, right down to how much the passenger weighs, whether they've got their arm out of the window or not.
Tom Kristensen having a look up to the big screen, I think, there, so he realises he's on it. There's a big screen at the end of the stadium which the drivers can see. I think it was Kristensen yesterday who was watching the race, desperate to see whether they're going to win, and then he saw a picture of himself. He thought, no, he was trying trying to watch the race.
But they're all like that, aren't they? Like, I was interviewing Johan Kristoffersen this morning for the Facebook Live, and he was timing Tom Kristensen's lap on his stopwatch on his phone while talking to me, and that's in practice.
Kristoffersen watched the feed last night, he told me. So Kristoffersen went back through the feed. And
the TV show?
Yeah, watched the TV show, basically. I'm sure not in its entirety, to get lap times off people, to look at the results and try to figure out where he had lap times. He was saying to me this morning, he's a 10th quicker than this one, a 10th slower than that one. Yeah, but we know from World Rallycross that he very much is focused on all the different details. This is outside. We've got a go-kart circuit built out there, the fan zone. Great to see some of the local kids getting a try at motorsport. Understand from chatting yesterday with some of the locals, they're keen to build an international standard circuit here in Saudi Arabia, and certainly they're massive on their car culture. Look at these fantastic vehicles parked outside there. Everyone having a great time. Everything from supercars to off-road vehicles, modified cars, radio control cars, even the go-karts, drifting, bit of radio control drifting. That's right up my street. That is, yeah, love that. And people on stilts, look. So a massive fan zone outside. That was
Who's that clown?
Last night. Great stuff. There you go. You can see the fan zone on the left and the right outside King Fahd International Stadium, opened in 1987, known as the Pearl of Stadiums. It has a 67,000 capacity. Men, women and children here watching with us. Lots of people in the family zone at the far end, which is good to see.
It does feel good. It's one of the first major international events that has that full family allowance into this stadium as part of the sort of growth and progression of this country. And it is really packed over there in the family area, which is amazing to see. And the noise they make is huge.
These guys warming up the brakes on the way round to the start quite aggressively.
They were told not to do that.
Well, the tyres, they've obviously got away with the brakes element of it. So, Kristensen on the inside, Coulthard on the outside, two racing champions, regular bit of wheel spin off the line. And the blast down towards turn one. Coulthard around the outside. Now, you can see how much quicker it is around that first corner, particularly in the outside lane. And what they've been saying, so the track here is 7.5 metres wide, so it's actually wider than previous Racing Champions tracks, and that's because the stadium here is so big. Great to see the cars able to move around a bit more, but what the drivers were saying is, of course, if you make a mistake in a low-speed corner, you've got time to correct it. You make a mistake in a high-speed corner, you're straight in the wall. So really very, very tricky for them. Only 6/10 in it at the end of the first lap. We're right on board with Coulthard as he heads up, and you can see that's a pretty similar view to what the driver got. There are a few inches above that. This is a bumper-mounted camera we've got, but it's not so easy to see through the chicane. You've really got to fire the car at it. We're right down on the tarmac here, and of course this track was built literally in 10 days prior to the event coming here. And this is going to be the closest finish we've seen so far. Right up to the wall, and that contact with the wall. Coulthard had contact with the wall there on the outside lane. Now, if he's had contact with the wall close to the timing equipment, he will be given an automatic 5-second penalty. So we're going to have to wait and see, and that may not appear on our timing screens right now. So hold your breath on that. But he ran wide at the one point they've said to them, please don't run wide. So he may be given a penalty for that. At the moment, he's showing us 2 wins. So Coulthard is showing us 2 wins to Tom Kristensen's 1. So let's see whether or not the stewards have anything to say about it.
But the good thing to notice is that those 2 drivers are the 2 drivers competing this year who are technically retired from their professional racing careers. And look at the time, 57.44 versus 57.48. Do you think that's heavy enough to warrant because there's two rules. If you hit the wall heavy enough, you get an instant 5-second penalty. If it's a glancing blow, then it's a warning. But if you hit it hard enough right next to the timing beams, which is exactly there, then it's an automatic 5.
Did you have a head on the inside?
Yeah.
Did you have a problem?
Yeah, the gearbox. I didn't get to third gear.
Yeah, that Timo had the same thing.
Okay,
No,
so Christensen saying he couldn't get third gear there. Coulthard, as we say, took the win, but it remains to be seen. Of course, during the race, if they get given a penalty, the 5-second gets added straight to it, but we're going to have to wait for this one.
Yes, I'm down here with Rudy van Buren. What a fantastic race. I mean, first of all, that race was epic. You obviously were looking on with bated breath. Out of the two of them, who were you supporting?
None. I want to get through. So now, in all fairness, we're all up here and we're all doing a good job. So for my points at the moment, it was better when Coulthard won it, but now I'm up against Tom, so it's another tough cookie.
Yeah, I have to say, beating Timo Bernhard was a fantastic effort, and you did really well yesterday in the Cup of Nations as well. So do you feel momentum switching now? If you're an e-racer, it's not just about sim, you can translate that onto a track?
It's more just track time. It's like I've said but in different interviews as well, it's about getting the feeling, get a little bit more track time to get used to it. And it's that the thing, what's difficult here is you're swapping cars the whole time. But it's the same for everyone. So the seat time's coming, and it's all up to the next race.
Good stuff. Well, good luck with your next race. Thanks very much.
Well, here are the standings so far then. Leading Group A, Juan Pablo Montoya with 2 wins from 2 races. Helio Castro-Neves, Ryan Hunter-Reay and Memo Rojas making up the rest of that group. Rojas, the only driver without a win so far in Group A.
So the job that Rojas can do is upset.
He can indeed. He's got only a couple of races left to do it in, though. I think 1 race left for him. Group B, Coulthard leading 2 wins from 2 races. Christensen and Van Buren on 1 win apiece, and then Bernhard on 0. But we still need to see whether or not Coulthard might be given a penalty. Got the drivers in the cars ready to go already. And drivers climbing out of cars as well. This was Christensen earlier, do you remember? So that was when we saw the big smile on his face. I think he's playing the old man card there, and he's by no means an old man. As you say, both, well, a lot of these guys, several of the guys retired from racing, but in fact quite nice as well at this event. Of course, we've got lots of youngsters coming through who are at the very pinnacle of their career. The World Endurance Champion, the World Rallycross Champion, you know, the DTM Champion. So we've got some fantastic drivers here.
I've been lucky.
Okay.
I've been lucky enough to work with Tom Christensen the last few years very, very closely, and he's such a gent, but he's still such a racer. Like, if you're sitting next to him watching a race, he will point something out that no one else, unless they've been in the car, would ever notice.
Has seen. Juan Pablo Montoya, 1 appearance in the Race of Champions, of course, won it last time. Memo Rojas, no appearances. This is his debut.
Now, what I was saying was that Memo Rojas and Timo Bernhard, all they can do now is cause an upset. They can't progress, I think, because even if they win, they don't have enough wins. But if they beat someone else, they could stop them going through. So they now have a chance to get some pride and also to cause an upset for their competitor on the track.
Yes, they do. Now, Montoya, of course, is on 2 wins. So if Montoya wins this one, he's definitely going through at the top of the group. If he were to lose it, then in theory, one of the other drivers underneath could catch up. So great spot by Neil Cole. Doesn't look like he's going to lose anything right now, does it? Because that was an absolutely outrageous start there by Juan Pablo Montoya. The inside lane, turns the car in and heads up towards the bridge. He's got to make sure, of course, he doesn't touch anything. He can afford, if he wants to be a bit more cautious. But I suspect he won't. Memo Rojas will want to take a win because he hasn't managed to get one so far. So big push from both these guys. Listen to that V8 howl through the long left-hander, and it's going to be a pretty good lead, I think, for Montoya.
These things have so much grip. There's a lot of power, but you can feel just how nimble they are. They're much more agile than they look, and it's amazing to see how much control they have. And as we see Juan Pablo Montoya go under the bridge and Memo Rojas go over it, that's Montoya.
Montoya on the outside.
He's
it's a shorter wheelbase. Yeah, he's a long way ahead.
Yeah.
I think he's going to take this one. Shorter wheelbase in the extreme pickup. And V8 power, plenty of traction, but plenty of turning too. Montoya makes the most of that. 3 wins from 3, and Juan Pablo Montoya will be the first person to qualify for the next round of the Race of Champions. And he is, of course, the current champion of champions. Great stuff. Of course, the second place in each group will go through as well, but they will face the winner of another group. So it's like many sports competitions where winning your group means that you don't then have to face the champion of another group. The idea is that you meet the better seeds as you go further through the competition. So Montoya will be pleased to have got the job done there because it means he'll meet the second place person. So in theory, not the person who's at the peak of their group. Who will he be up against? We'll find out very soon.
En la salida,
So a little discussion there.
casi choco, güey.
He said La Salida, which is the exit. So he's talking about the
okay.
exit of one of the turns, but I don't know which one.
Fantastic.
That's the limit of my Spanish.
That's good. It's all good. The exit's fine. It's a racing turn. It's a racing turn. I wonder how many drivers there are around the world who only speak enough of their relative language to talk to their engineer about the various points on the track. Christensen with a great start. No, sorry, Van Buren with a better start. The graphics round the other way, of course, at the rear of the grid. Christensen on the inside. Both these guys with one win, so they are fighting for the chance to be in second place in Group B, and that will give them, of course, the chance to go through to the next round. So Christensen will be really, really keen to get the hammer down here and beat the sim racer, but we know very well that Rudy Van Buren is a tidy peddler, and Rudy Van Buren has ambitions outside of sim racing, of course. Wants to get back into full-size motorsport. On board with Van Buren now over the bridge. Hear the revs peak there just as the wheels lift off. And now we get a look at the pedals as well. So a bit of brakes back onto the gas. Interesting, not left foot braking through there. Now just a turn of opposite lock, and it's going to be close at the finish line. Christensen has the inside line, but Van Buren, in theory, has the quicker line around the outside. It's Christensen who takes the win. So 2 wins to Christensen equals Coulthard with 2 wins at the top of the group. Job done.
I think the great thing about Tom is that he's such a gentleman that he does all the sort of veterans, elder statesmen of Race of Champions will be very welcoming to the younger drivers, and he was saying how impressed he was with the actual racetrack skills of Rudy Van Buren, but he will have given him advice. So you kind of rue that moment when you're sitting next to them on the start line, because you've welcomed them into the family of Race of Champions, you've given them driving advice, told them not to lock up their inside wheel too much, and then you kind of go, well, I hope that he didn't listen to my advice.
It all on board.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think Chris Dobson said the same yesterday. He was impressed by the sim races. Solberg, a lot of these drivers are saying, wow, okay, sim racing is of interest, and we're seeing a lot of young drivers have taken the sim stuff fully on board. Lando Norris, who's here with us this weekend, you'll see him later on. Another guy who races sims all the while. Max Verstappen races sims. So outside of racing the cars, they're constantly racing in these simulators. Some of them are more realistic than others, but it's that thing of full focus all the while. It's the ability to concentrate only on one thing, not to let anything distract you, and not to make any mistakes.
You gotta be on it. You gotta be on it.
You've got to be on it is exactly what's being said there. Now, interesting up next is a crucial matchup, because Ryan Hunter-Reay and Helio Castroneves, both of them have to win to progress. This is a do or die. This is a last chance saloon for the American and the Brazilian.
Rolling up towards the line in the extreme pickups. Listen to that roar. Here we go then. Helio Castroneves, 3 times Indy 500 winner, 4 times IndyCar Series runner-up. 1 appearance at the Race of Champions back in 2017. And then we've got Ryan Hunter-Reay, who's been with us a few more times, made it through to the quarterfinals a couple of times. So a little bit more experience. I have to say Hunter-Reay doesn't look to have been having the ideal weekend here in Saudi Arabia. Castroneves did well yesterday in Nations Cup, so has had that relatively a little bit more seat time, trying to find some grip off the line on the inside. Castroneves turns the big truck up and over the bridge, manages to avoid the plastic chicane, which will be given a penalty for hitting.
And I think that is crucial. The fact that Helio Castroneves made it as far as the Team Latin America did last night means he's had so much more seat time, and you can't underestimate how important it is. Every second you're on this circuit, because the races are so short, every second you're on the circuit, you're learning, you're absorbing information.
Yeah, 2-3 more goes at the whole process of go out, face the lights, face the adrenaline, go again. You know, do you look at what's interesting? So we had Castroneves up here yesterday, and he was saying he looks at the other lane all the while. He's like, I've got to beat him, I've got to beat him. Whereas some of the other drivers were saying they don't look at the other lane, they only concentrate on themselves, but he's going to have to look at the other lane here because this is going to be super close. Castroneves on the inside, on the outside, Ryan Hunter-Reay. This is for a place going through, and it's Ryan Hunter-Reay who nicks it.
Wow.
Less than 1/10 of a second between them. So Ryan Hunter-Reay takes second place in Group A from Juan Pablo Montoya. Clean sweep for Montoya, great performance by him. Fantastic.
But that's a split fortunes there for Team Latin America from yesterday, because when Pablo Montoya tops the group, and Helio Castroneves now just has to take his helmet off, get back into civvies, and watch the rest of the Race of Champions.
Big cut on the inside there, you can see.
They both wanted it.
Yeah,
they both wanted it.
Every inch of the track, the curves as well, risking a warning. Super, super close at the line. Juan Pablo Montoya then winning Group A with 3 wins from 3 races. Ryan Hunter-Reay, 3 races, 2 wins. You know, Castroneves and Memo Rojas, unfortunately, their Race of Champions is over.
Marcus, you called direct line exactly 2 hours and 30 seconds.
Top of the group against bottom of the group.
So really all that can happen here is if Coulthard can be denied the clean sweep. Bernhard has no wins, unfortunately, so Bernhard isn't going to be able to make it through. But can he stop Coulthard from getting a clean sweep? And will that affect? I think Christensen at the minute, Christensen is looking like he's in second place because his best time isn't quite as good as Coulthard. So I'm pretty sure Coulthard's got this wrapped up. But he'll want a big push anyway, Neil, because as you say, the track time's important, and he may well jump back into this car in the next round.
Yeah, definitely. And he's almost guaranteed
touch on the wall on the inside by Bernhard on the rear right. Sorry to interrupt, so has Bernhard damaged the rear right quarter of the car or not? You can see the white paint on the side. Have a look at the rear tyre.
Yeah.
You can see it spinning round, so he's had a tap on the wall. It doesn't look to have affected it, but was it significant? We may well see it in the replay. So Bernhard's been given a warning for that, so it was a significant tap on the wall, but more significant is whether or not he can take the checkered flag on the inside. Coulthard has done a really good job on the outside. Bernhard is sideways, but it's Coulthard who takes it. Bernhard P2. So Bernhard, yesterday's Nations Cup champion, 0 wins today in the Race of Champions.
And you can't even blame it on celebrating too hard last night.
No, they can't.
So interestingly, form is standing out. Juan Pablo Montoya leading Group A, David Coulthard leading Group B, Tom Christensen in second place.
Huge difference in the starts there, massive.
Yeah.
Coulthard getting away from the
That was a heavy touch.
Yeah, look. In fact, he just kept the front out. I thought that was going to go front in there, and he's just managed to unload the rear enough that the rear tapped it. If the front had gone in, probably might have pulled the wheel off it. But
and that is where the timing beam is. There is a gap in the concrete. That
there is.
Yeah.
So either way, he lost. So the penalty wouldn't have made any difference anyway. Good job by DC.
Luckily, that car's come back and it's not smoking.
Jumps out the car. Bit of congratulations from Bernhard, and there are the final standings for Group B. So David Coulthard, 3 wins from 3 races. Tom Christensen, 2 wins from the 3 races. They will progress through and, of course, face the relative winner or second place from the other groups. Rudy Van Buren took a win. Good job by him, the sim racer. Bernhard saved, won the Rock Nations Cup yesterday. Couldn't repeat it today. So there are your first 2 qualifiers. So Group A will face Group B. Juan Pablo Montoya, the winner of Group A, goes through to face Tom Christensen, the runner-up from Group B. David Coulthard, the winner of Group B, goes through to face Ryan Hunter-Reay from Group A. Group C and Group D still to come. Who else is going through to the quarter-finals?
Really got a chance, but it seems to me like some of the old boys are coming out fighting today.
Yeah, well, I think we got our asses kicked yesterday, if we're allowed to say that. So now we'll see how far we can go today.
Atmosphere down here actually really good today, isn't it?
It's nice, you know, a good group of people in. It's nice to see the family enclosure as well, and then you've got non-stop action.
Loving it. Good luck with the rest of the competition.
Thank you. Thanks.
Motocross stunts continue in the stadium. These guys absolutely fantastic. Now, we had another challenge yesterday. Let's have a look at that. The drivers of the Race of Champions, as you know, are competitive beasts at the best of times, so any opportunity to show off their skills against each other is not one to be missed. The day before the main event, they took each other on outside the stadium in the Rock Skills Challenge. The Ariel Atom was the vehicle of choice in this mini assault course, with each driver given 2 chances to post their fastest time. While the twists and turns proved a little too tight for some, there were not such problems for the defending Rock champion, Juan Pablo Montoya, who edged out David Coulthard to lead after the opening group. And the Colombian's time looked like it was going to be a winning one until he was eventually pipped by Sweden's Johan Kristoffersson, 2017 FIA World Rallycross champion, finishing a 1/10 of a second quicker.
Very happy. It's a lot of very, very skilled driver here. So yeah, to be able to win, it was tight with Montoya, but yeah, in the end I was on the top, so I'm very happy.
Johan won everything yesterday. He said he won the skills challenge and won all 3 of my races. He was a bit disappointed, I think, to go out in the fashion that he did. There's his teammate from World Rallycross, Peter Solberg, wearing his Africa Spec race suit there.
And Team Boss, of course.
Yeah, Team Boss too. Look at this, Neil. These guys are amazing, aren't they? I know we saw them last night, but we saw them practicing as well, and it's just a fascinating process they go through.
I mean, these guys have got X Games gold medals. They've got all kinds of freestyle motocross wins, championship wins between them. And you can see how much fun they're having. I love watching how they warm up for a jump, because they set up the jump, they set up the launch ramp and the landing ramp, and they just gently build up to doing backflips.
See, I'm fascinated by the process. Unfortunately, I'm too old now to do dangerous stuff without being absolutely terrified. Other than driving a car, which I used to compete a little, so the fear factor isn't there in the same way. You know, I'd love to learn to do a ski jump or a motocross thing, but I think that, you know, building up to that as you get older, the fear's there, and these guys must just learn from such a young age. So impressive. On then to Group C, Johan Kristoffersson from Sweden, René Rast from Germany, Lando Norris from Great Britain, and Joel Eriksson from Sweden. Joel Eriksson, of course, qualifying earlier on today in our first knockout round to secure his place. So we've got a couple of Swedes in this group.
Now, this first matchup from this group is interesting. You've got 2 rookies to Race of Champions, but Lando Norris, who is only 18 years old. He's only just 18 as well, and he's won everything he's entered. And, of course, the new and reigning World Rallycross champion, Johan Kristoffersson. So both rookies to Race of Champions, and Lando is just back from Daytona. So he did an incredible stint at the 24 Hours of Daytona last weekend, and let's see how he can do against Johan Kristoffersson.
And Kristoffersson likes this car, the Extreme pickup. I went for a ride with him on Thursday. The drivers were all testing the limits. Johan found it, so we had a half spin out the circuit, which he mentioned yesterday. He gets a good run off the line. Norris on the inside had a couple of runs yesterday. I think he might have taken 1 win last night, but a couple of losses. Let's say Johan took 3 wins. So the confidence you'd have to say is in Kristoffersson's favour here, but you cannot underestimate Lando Norris. Again, a sim race, an extremely talented young driver, and this is going to be fascinating. Great to see these youngsters here taking part.
I mean, watching how Lando operates, it's extraordinary, because considering he is only just 18, he's got a very mature head, but it's very hard to take all of this in. You know, this is like every first day at school for about 10 times a day.
I love it.
Johan's just old, just old enough to be able to cope with it. Oh, and that's Lando in the wall.
Lando's in the wall. So down the bottom left of your picture there is Lando is in the wall. And
he can't get it started again.
Yeah, I'd love to say that we don't know who's going to win this, but he is unfortunately in the wall. I think he's taken the front right corner off it, looking at the attitude of that car. So Johan Kristoffersson is going to take the win in the first race of Group C. Lando Norris, meanwhile, is going to need recovery.
So exactly the learning curve I was talking about. You know, he can see that he's behind, and instead of just going, no, tidy, keep it tidy, he's made a mistake.
Tyres off the rim, look. So let's have another look at the replay. So pretty even start, though, in terms of reaction time. The wheel spin looked the same, but whatever happened, there you go. He still had a lot of lock-on. So he's got terminal understeer. Unfortunately, you can see the sparks fly there. And in fact, the Tech Pro barrier doesn't matter. The plastic barrier will slide out the way. It's the concrete barrier behind which has done its job, which of course is to keep the cars out of the holding area. It's double width there. It won't have moved a millimetre. Something had to give, and it was the tyre.
But what thing's interesting is that they forget, this thing is so much heavier than his Formula 3 car or even his Formula Renault 2.0 from the year before. You know, those cars are so light that if you find yourself slightly offline, you can turn it back in. But he can't correct a car this heavy, and it's too late once he realises that there's too much weight around him to correct a mistake like that.
Well, it doesn't want to come back.
It looks like he's okay.
He's fine. So Terry Grant over there having a chat with him. Terry, of course, the driver coach. Passenger gets out as well. There we go. Lando waves to the crowd. That is great to see, and that is the most important thing ever. Try to remember that when you're watching your motorsport at home. We want to see drivers on the limit. We don't want to see them hitting the wall. And it happens because that's where the limit is. But the most important thing always is that they're okay, and they are, both Lando and his passenger. He will be disappointed. Another replay, so on the way into the left-hander look. He picked the throttle up there, I think, trying to switch the car to oversteer, and unfortunately it didn't. So you needed a big half flip of the throttle. That might have been able to get the rear end of the car sliding around, but on this occasion it didn't happen, and unfortunately he ended up in the wall. David Croft is down in the paddock area. He's got Lando Norris with him now.
First question, Lando Norris, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good. It's going to take more than just a little buff up for the car, I'm afraid. That was a bit of a scrape.
Yeah.
What happened?
Nothing really. I just, without blaming anything, I think the steering was a bit bent for whatever reason. Like, it was my fault I crashed, I admit that, but I just couldn't put any more lock on, basically. And I wasn't, like, pushing it massively or anything, but it just kept understeering more and more, and then it just hit the wall, so... yeah, a bit annoying.
Yeah.
Because I've crashed twice now, so it's not very good. But, yeah, I don't know what to say, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. There's no margin of error here, and really, you can't afford to leave anything in the locker. You've got to push like crazy every race, haven't you?
But I wasn't pushing, that's the thing. It just didn't... I sound like an idiot, but it just wasn't turning as like it did in practice or something, so... yeah, not the best, but... I'll just get in the next car and see what I can do.
Yeah, you've still got a couple more races to put it right.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do, yeah.
Good, man. Thank you.
Terry Grant doing some donuts around a man who very much hopes he doesn't crash, but he won't, of course. Terry's a pro. Lando's really disappointed. You can tell that. He doesn't really know what to say, which probably means he hasn't quite managed to translate what felt like it happened in the car. He'll see the replays, he'll judge for himself. Yeah, okay, he thinks the steering possibly not straight. Either way, he said, it's my fault, I've crashed twice. He's disappointed.
Well, I'm down here with Ahmed Bin Khanan, who is a Saudi representative for this weekend. You've come through the Rock Factor programme and to be here in front of your home crowd. And it is a really good atmosphere here today. How excited are you to take part in Race of Champions?
I'm very excited. It's a crazy thing to be here with all these champions. And hopefully we can do my best and learn from the best.
Now, you're in a Group D, with Newgarden, Solberg, Al-Raji and yourself. Fierce competition with the Indy 500 winner from this year and Petter Solberg, one of the best rallycross drivers ever.
Yeah, for me, we watch those guys on TV, and we cheer for them. But today we'll be against them, so I'll do my best, and hopefully we get a clean lap and we'll do my best.
Just talk to me about this atmosphere, because motorsport here in Saudi Arabia, it's a passion, isn't it?
It is crazy. Everyone here loves motorsport and cars, and you can see it from the crowds. They're going crazy for this.
Love it. Thanks so much for chatting with us.
Thank you so much.
So a word about Terry Grant there. Not only can he do these amazing stunts, and it was a lifelong dream for him to do the corkscrew jump from the man with the golden gun last year in that Jaguar launch, but he really does oversee a lot of the driving skills and abilities, especially for the newcomers on the circuit here at Race of Champions. So chapeau to Terry Grant.
We've got a newcomer with us. He's already a Race of Champions legend. Timo Bernhard's up here in the commentary box with us, and he was the Rock Nations Cup champion with Germany yesterday. And Timo, today hasn't gone your way.
Absolutely. First of all, beautiful view you guys have. So would have liked to see that a little bit before to check the lines on the others, but
yeah, you were busy last night. You didn't need to check anybody's lines.
Exactly.
So here's Group D: Joseph Newgarden for USA, Petter Solberg for Norway, Yazid Al-Rajhi for Saudi Arabia, and Ahmed bin Khanem for Saudi Arabia. So they will be hoping to see one of their local drivers go through, and you can hear the noise from the crowd. We'll have a chat in a minute. Timo will be able to tell us what he could hear from inside the car. Revs are up, here we go. Joseph Newgarden on the outside against Yazid Al-Rajhi on the inside down towards turn 1. Yazid Al-Rajhi had a big push on yesterday. So was going absolutely fantastically in the Rock Extreme pickup, and then unfortunately chucked it off at that very corner. So Timo, jumping into these cars is hard work, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I think Joseph missed the gear, or definitely had a problem getting the gear in from first to second, because he lost a bit of time.
Yeah, it looked like a slow start, didn't it, down the start-finish straight, very definitely. Yazid Al-Rajhi working away really hard on the wheel. Neil, he was impressive yesterday.
Yeah, he was, and of course, this is what the Race Champions was originally about, rally drivers against racing drivers, and Yazid Al-Rajhi is a very talented peddler. In the WRC, he was just in the Dakar, which didn't go so well for him, but, you know, he really is pushing.
Just as we talked, he spun yesterday, right on your screens in front of you, and that's what he did yesterday. Well, he did the double burnout to get the car facing back around the same way. I'll be really disappointed, and I thought he was doing well there.
Absolutely, nice he got it back, and the crowd was liked it a lot, I guess.
Yeah, but the stunt driving in the middle of a race, they'll always go for that. So it's Newgarden who takes the win, and we're still waiting on Yazid Al-Rajhi to make it round to the finish line. He's going to cross the line any moment now. Just comes up slowly towards it. There he goes, away from the crowd. He knows, there he goes. He got the job done in the end, but that's a shame. But you know, he can push, but unfortunately it didn't go his way.
Absolutely, and you see him in the tracks improving definitely from practice day and from yesterday, and also now to jump in a car that you maybe haven't driven yesterday. I mean, I had the situation that yesterday I didn't drive the KTM, I drove it now, so I just drove it 2 days ago where the track was different, and you need to adapt quickly. I mean, with all these different cars. I mean, I guess that's a challenge here.
Yes, absolutely. So not driving it last night, when you had that fantastic run of form last night, and then today it didn't quite work out because you jumped into unfamiliar vehicles.
Exactly. I mean, you know, racing drivers, they like to excuse a lot, but I guess it's what we do as well. But I mean, okay, you compete against the best here, and it's the one that will be crowned to will task the challenge the best to adapt.
Yazid Al-Rajhi is going to get told off. I'm telling you that right now, because he's just stopped to do a bit more stunt driving. Here's was his in-race stunt driving, but he's done a bit post-race, and then he discovered he couldn't spin the car back round to face the right way, so he's done half the track in the wrong direction. So I'm expecting he'll get a minor telling off when he's down in the paddock.
I think that shot was to say leave it to the professionals.
Yeah, it was,
like Terry Grant.
That was Terry Grant's on board. We saw there just for a split second. There's Al-Rajhi coming in. So they are back in, and there's David Coulthard and Ryan Hunter-Reay, who obviously saw the spin and then have watched him spin it back round again the other way. Well, the passenger enjoyed himself, certainly. I'm sure Yazid did as well. The crowd liked it too. Is it fun, this?
Absolutely. No, it's a lot of fun, and it's also nice, you know, that you speak with drivers that you maybe haven't met or you met a long time ago and speak about their competition, and we really have a good time here. I mean, it's very privileged to be here.
Oh, fantastic. Well, welcome along, and congratulations on last night. It must have been a cool experience, because Germany have won it so many times. The thing is, it used to be Michael Schumacher's domain, didn't it? And then Vettel's kind of taken over last time. Now you guys come along and it's like, the new guys from Germany. Hang on a minute, and you've gone and won it. You know, what is it about you Germans?
I don't know. I heard a lot of guys saying yesterday it's a bit like soccer. You know, it's different teams competing, and in the end, Germany wins.
Yeah, that's the Mannschaft. And of course, I was there at Le Mans last year. Extraordinary result. It is such a dramatic race, and it couldn't be more opposite. I suppose getting in and out of cars is the only similarity. The kind of driver change. That's it. That's endurance. This is the shortest races you'll probably ever do.
Yes, I mean, I did a lot of different disciplines. I mean, on a lower level in Germany, like hill climb races, rallies. I like different competitions. That's why I liked being invited here.
Okay.
Joel Eriksson then is up next. He's racing in the DTM this year with BMW Motorsport. René Rast, the current DTM champion. Fantastic. Okay, so we've got a big burnout going on down the start-finish straight. Not quite sure what's going on there.
Is that still Yazid?
Yes. No, okay, this is so that's René Rast, but why has he gone all the way back round?
Well, that's a question.
Yeah. Okay, so well, we have no idea why he's gone for a lap, unless he's just decided to go for some fun. But he could get told off for that, and we'll wait and Let's see. Okay, well, there we go. He's headed out for a lap. Maybe they told him down the holding area to go for a lap. They might have been waiting to sort the other car out. He's warming his tyres up, which they were told, I believe, not to do.
Exactly, yeah. Or maybe both cars were cold. I don't know. I mean, that...
Maybe that he was supposed to be in the car that Lando, which would have had warmer tyres.
Bang on, Neil. Yeah. So they probably told him go for a lap to warm the tyres. Neil Cole, expert commentary. You get a smiley face and a gold star for that, Neil.
So give us
Timo we should be relying on for this. What are you doing?
To give us the inside...
He was quicker.
Give us the inside scoop on Rene. You were a teammate thrown together with him yesterday as teammates. What's he going to do here? Do you think he'd be able to do this?
Well, he has a good chance to get to the final, definitely. I mean, very talented driver and great skill, and for sure, I mean, he likes this kind of competition as well, so I think he has a good chance.
Rene Rast, who we are pretty sure, thanks to Neil Cole's expert analysis there, that has been given a lap to warm the car up after Norris, of course, unfortunately shunted in the extreme pickup in the last run. He's up against Joel Eriksson. Now, Joel Eriksson, of course, had a shunt yesterday, lost it on the brakes, and put on the aerial atoms in the wall. So Joel needing to find his confidence and try and come back through to the next round here, but it is Rene Rast who leads. The gap is 1.6 seconds. Is that too much, do you think?
I think this should be okay for Rene if he doesn't do a mistake on the last lap. But it looks quite okay, I think, to be winning this.
So around the outside, Rene Rast, Eriksson on the inside. How close will it be? Rast has just got the edge on him, and he's going to manage to get the power down onto the straight. And the flamethrowers go off for him. So there we are, win for Germany. Yep. Will you support him now you're out?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I get along with him well, and I know him for many years. And he was a driver for many years who was underrated as well, but he did many things in the past, you know, to achieve finally DTM. And in between, I think he did Le Mans as well with Audi, with LMP1, I think, one time. So he did a lot of different cars, and
Have you met any of your heroes here? You know, it sounds a daft question, but there are some drivers who've been around for a long time. You know, is there anyone here you thought particularly, oh, this is cool?
I mean, Tom Christensen, 9-time Le Mans winner for sure. I mean,
yeah.
No, I know Tom for a long time, but I think, like, I'm a big rally fan, so to meet Petter Solberg in person, I think, I didn't know him before very well, just hello and goodbye, but now to chat to him, because I told him I watched him at Deutschland Rally 2005 on the shakedown. Yeah. I was exactly standing in that corner where he shot in the car. So
really?
He didn't like that, but
I bet he didn't. So Ahmed bin Karnan is up next. Nissan GT Academy was his background. He's done some GT racing as well, and he is going up against the man we've just been talking about, Petter Solberg, double FIA World Rallycross champion, and of course World Rally champion as well back in 2003. So this should be interesting. The local support will undoubtedly go the way of Ahmed bin Karnan, but Petter Solberg is a man to be reckoned with in any of these cars. Watch for the red lights in the middle. And away from the line, Solberg. They both get it hooked up pretty nicely down the straight into the first corner. And those first corners are a lot quicker than some of the other Racing Champions tracks have been. I know you haven't been to those. You can't make a mistake there, can you? Because if you do, you're in the wall.
You are. You see that the radius in the beginning is quite consistent, but then it's tight. So you need to position the car, and you see that with more and more laps, the track gets more clean on the ideal line. But if you go offline, you have no grip at all. So yeah.
Really important to make sure you get it right. Solberg's struggling for the gear.
Yep.
So Solberg's missed a gear, and will that make a difference for him? You saw on board, we were riding on board, up and over the bridge now, right, left, right, through the chicane. So Petter Solberg in a bit of jeopardy here, and you can see the mouth is open. That's the standard Solberg look when he's on a big push. So Solberg's going to have to push hard now. This could be a win for Ahmed bin Karnan at home in Saudi Arabia. He's got to find the traction on the inside line. It's a shorter run to the finish, but Solberg could be able to do it. It's going to be very, very close to the line. Solberg just nicks it. Despite missing a gear, Petter Solberg takes the win.
Yeah, that was close, but for sure, I had that in my heat before. I mean, then you lose a lot of time if you cannot get in third gear.
And the gearbox is one of the things, isn't it? You know, driving, obviously the cars will feel different, but moving a car around and the skills necessary for it, fine. But to learn the gait of a gearbox in a car is actually one of the things which is key to a good lap time. And these vary a lot, don't they? With sequential, you've got the big truck box, and they're all so different.
Yes, they are. And in most forms of racing right now, you have pedal shift anyway. I mean, the last time I drove a stick shift car was probably 10 years ago, you know, a little on the racetrack. So it's something you have to adapt quickly.
Do you think maybe you youngsters are getting lazy with all this paddle shift? You know, I mean, the old H pattern, do you think that's the real driver's way to do it?
Well, I started racing Formula Ford and then the Porsche Carrera Cup, like, this is 15 years ago. We had, like, to heel and toe and 6-speed gearbox and clutching on the way up and way down. So that was hard work.
Yeah, it's changed, hasn't it? Things have changed.
Exactly.
But did you
there we go.
Talking about it.
Really take care and then into the third? Or?
Yeah, I tried 3 times.
Yeah, love it. Johan saying, yeah, but did you do it right?
Yeah. He was reassuring. Yeah.
So Group C, as it stands, Rast with everybody's had one race, of course. Rast and Kristoffersson taking the wins. Joel Eriksson, Lando Norris without a win each. Norris, of course, ending in the wall, which is why he doesn't have a best time as yet. So that is Group C after one race. Here is Group D. Petter Solberg and Joseph Newgarden with a win apiece. So far, no wins for Saudi Arabia. Yazid Al-Rajhi with a very long time, thanks to a bit of Terry Grant stunt driving in the middle of the run.
But Petter...
Always fun at the Race of Champions.
And that is, of course, going to be for charity.
I'm sure.
They're auctioned for charity, those pieces of art. And over the years, there have been many of those. I mean, I remember a big one where there was a massive canvas square that had full donuts done on it, and then individual squares of that canvas were turned into individual works of art. And each one, raised thousands.
Fantastic.
For charities.
Fantastic. Right. We have ourselves a Saudi showdown, so this is going to mean that we're going to get big cheers from the crowd whoever wins. Are we going to see Al-Rajhi with a third spin and then recovery spin of the weekend, or is he going to keep it under control and send it all the way to the checkered flag? Ahmed Bin Khan and his teammate has done an absolutely brilliant job all weekend. So Bin Khan starting in the outside lane, Al-Rajhi on the inside. Here we go, wheel spin from both of them. Down and into the first corner.
Timo, give us an idea of what these are like to handle around this circuit.
I love this car. I mean, I had the pleasure to be in this car yesterday twice, and it was a car probably that's really the best. And I like that you can steer the car actually with the throttle. We just saw on the inside lane that you can. You have quite a good grip going into the corner. The car's rolling quite a lot because it's heavy, but then from mid corner onwards, you can dictate the speed and steer the car with the throttle. Nice. Quite big. You cannot imagine that it will fit on this track, but actually it's a lot of fun.
I think the first day everyone was a bit scared of them, weren't they? Because it's so hard to judge where that front corner is. It is Ahmed Bin Khan who leads at the minute as the car hops over the top of the bridge. Big weighty car, bit of gas again to get it sideways. So Bin Khan is coming round, but on the inside Al-Rajhi is closing him down as they come around to the final corner. It's going to be a race to the line. Ahmed Bin Khan has done a very nice job here. I think he's going to take it.
Wow.
Nice slide.
Good stuff, very nice. 1.3 seconds as well. Crowd like that.
And I tell you something, these cars are one of the quickest here, I think, in lap times.
Really?
Cars, yeah.
Despite the weight and despite the size?
Absolutely.
So what gives the lap time? The grip?
I think it has good grip and the power, obviously. And I think a little bit the balance as well, because balance is quite good.
So although we see the car quite sideways and we see the quick drivers transitioning them through the slower corners, it's quite manageable?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. There we go, hearing it from an expert. Bit of lock on, you can see. Then on the gas, try to rotate the car around. How do they manage to miss those chicane markers across the top of the bridge? Super tight. Look at this as well. Lovely balance of the car. Good stuff.
Now, next up, we've got two of the youngest drivers in this competition, and we're hearing that Lando did actually injure his hand a little bit, but he's had ice on it, and he's happy to go out and race. So we've got Joel Eriksson and Lando Norris, two of the youngest competitors in this year's Race of Champions, racing against each other, and Lando has bravely got back into the car again after clouting that wall.
Well, it's going to be a bit of honour at stake, I'm sure, here as well. Don't forget, I think it was Eriksson, wasn't it, who was second in F3 last year, and Norris who was first.
Yeah, so it's a rivalry of a season-long fight.
Exactly, you can see it now on a different track, different style.
Yeah.
A completely different style of car as well, isn't it? So yesterday, of course, it was the Atom that Eriksson struggled with when he outbraked himself in the lane he's in now. So down in the first corner, got himself out a bit wide and straightened off the line a bit there, almost as if he doesn't want to be too close to the wall that he kissed yesterday, but to keep it out the dirt as well.
No, I tell you something, with this car is a completely different balance to all the other cars, whereas I would say the Buell and the KTM are a little bit more understeering, or quite a bit of understeering, and this car is quite pointy. You have a good front axle, but if you overdo it, then you obviously are sideways. So I think it was just opening the lane a bit to calm down the rear.
really close between them. It is Joel Eriksson, though, who takes it from Lando Norris. So Lando, with that injured hand, great to see him back out there competing. Unfortunately, unable to take the win. The group stages continue to progress. We've got a few more races to go in Group C and Group D, and that will see us through, of course, to the quarter-final stage.
Now, from my perspective, I haven't done a huge amount of racing, but I was involved in a stock car championship a bit in New Zealand once, and the first time I ever hit the wall, and I wasn't going very fast, I was so shocked at how much it hurt and how much the wind is taken out of you, your head is ringing, and that was just a tiny glance. And I think you guys, you racing drivers, Timo, do an incredible job of making it look like it was nothing. It's not nothing. He will have really felt that contact with the wall, and you guys just walk away from it like, yeah, but it hurts. I was shocked.
Yeah, and also it hurts inside, you know.
Pride.
But, yeah, and also, as well, and also, I mean, for sure, I mean, for the car and for the guys that have to repair after. I brushed the wall just a little bit going on the start-finish straight, just a little bit, but it feels already quite hard, you know, when you hit the rim. So not good.
Timo, thank you very much for joining us. We've got a few more guests popping up, so we're going to say our goodbyes. Just one question to you: who's your money on, basically? I know it's putting you under pressure a little bit. Choose a couple if you want, but who are the ones to watch of the drivers we've got left, do you think?
I think two would be Johan Kristoffersen. I think he did a really good job the last 2 days, and I think Rennie.
Okay, there we go. Congratulations yesterday.
We shouldn't forget Mr. Montoya as well. So
no,
I will
watch. Should we? Congratulations, you did such a good job yesterday, and great to have you up in the commentary box. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure. See you next time.
So here we go. Petter Solberg lines up against Josef Newgarden. Petter Solberg already they both have a win each so far.
Solberg got that hooked up the best off the start line, didn't he? So nicely done on the outside lane. And we know that Solberg likes this car, don't we, as well, because his teammate from Rallycross Kristoffersen told us, yes, he said, Petter loves this car. So interestingly, the drivers all seem to have their various favourites. I know Johan and Petter have got a car routes that they're not so keen on, and it's actually a different car, which I guess matches up to their different driving styles. And all the drivers are jumping in and out. It's fantastic from Timo Bernhard there as well. So much inside information on what it's like to hop between these cars.
But that's an absolutely dominant first lap. Now remember, one entire race is back to where you started from on this circuit. So if you started on the outside, you do one lap, which is half the race, if you see what I mean. So at the stagger, Petter Solberg looked like he's way ahead.
He did indeed, and he looks like he's done a nice job here on the second lap too. It's not going to be quite as easy as we thought, but Solberg does take it from Newgarden, and that separates them. So Solberg on 2 wins now from Newgarden's 1.
And that's just demonstrating what Timo was saying, is look at the time. That is in one of the biggest, heaviest cars that is in the lineup in the garage for Racing Champions this year. 57.95 is quickest time so far of the cars that they've been driving.
Yeah. So
it's
despite, again, another thing that we just wouldn't know because we don't get to see the timing screens in quite the same way. Solberg with a jump. I've seen him do quite a few of those. He's good at jumps. Petter is. Newgarden still with a chance to go through. Remember, the top 2 from each of these groups qualifying for the quarter-finals.
That was fantastic.
Yes, it was.
Oh, it's good.
He's pleased. He's very pleased. He doesn't like losing. None of them like losing, do they? Let's be honest. Okay, so cars heading round to take the start line. This time, Ariel Atom, 2.9 seconds 0 to 60. Look at that, 445 brake horsepower per tonne. That's a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine and just 550 kilograms. That weighs about half what your family car weighs at home. Kristoffersen.
So the way that the draw works, this is great because Petter and Johan are in different groups, so it's very possible that if they both progress, they could meet each other in the next round.
Well, in fact, of course, these are the 2 guys that Timo Bernhard tipped as well. So he said Kristoffersen and René Rast. René Rast, Rock Nations Cup champion last night with Timo Bernhard, who's just left the commentary box. Johan Kristoffersen was doing ever so well yesterday, won all 3 of his heat races, but unfortunately his teammate crashed, and that meant that Sweden went no further in the standings. How close is it going to be as they come around to the end of the first lap?
And again, it's worth reiterating, these are both Race of Champions rookies, but they've just absorbed it so quickly, like the professionals that they are, and every time they get the helmet on, they are just leg foot.
Kristoffersen And Rast super close at the line now, just looking at the gap. It was only 0.2 of a second. Obviously, the different cars have different staggers, but Kristoffersson on the inside is at a slight advantage here. But remember, it's not such an easy line to get the power down on. Kristoffersson lights it up. He's kept it tidy, and he will take the flag and the flames for the victory. So Kristoffersson beats Rast. And that sees him at the top of the table with 2 wins. So Kristoffersson and Solberg currently head Group C and Group D. The teammates from the World Rallycross Championship. Rennie Rast in second place, of course. Nations Cup yesterday is going to be fantastic when we get through to the knockout phase of this.
Now, of course, Rennie Rast is used to sort of touring cars and doing touring cars full time. One thing that's interesting about Johan Kristoffersson is during the course of the last couple of years, he's been doing both the FIA World Rallycross Championship and the Scandinavian Touring Car Championship, so he's used to getting in and out of different types of cars and winning if there's just normally a week in between rather than 15 minutes.
Yeah, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic performance from Kristoffersson in all his racing championships over the last few years and here this weekend at the Race of Champions.
But then I see it was cool.
He's even taller than me.
A little bit of a TV secret, I often have to stand on an apple box when I interview Johan Kristoffersson.
Yeah, he just is that tall. David Cross got Rennie Rast.
Rennie Rast, what's the situation? 2 wins, 1 victory. If you win, you're through in the last race?
I'm not sure, actually. I think if I win, I should be through. But if I don't win, it's going to be very tight again.
Yeah. How are you finding it compared to yesterday? Now you're working on your own and Timo Bernhard is no use to you whatsoever.
It's no big difference. I still have to win the races. I mean, the cars are the same. Today feels a bit less grip overall, but the general situation is the same. Just pushing like crazy to win the races.
Yeah, and the pressure's on you after success yesterday. You've got to do it today, again.
Would be great, you know, but priority 1 is having fun.
Excellent.
And yeah, let's see.
Have for fun. Take care.
Wants to have fun, wants to win. There's a balance between the two somewhere, but... Okay, here we go. Extreme pickup, one of the driver's favourites. 121 top speeds are not the fastest things in a straight line, but look at that. 2.5 second 0 to 60. Only 297 brake horsepower per tonne, and that, of course, is because it weighs quite a lot of 1,200 odd kilos, but it has a massive V8 engine in it, which is what that noise is, and that is why the drivers like it. Shorter wheelbase than the NASCAR. This thing can be sent.
It's such a roar. You and I were lucky enough to have quite different rides in one of these the other day. It's very difficult to get in. It's a proper Dukes of Hazzard, climb in, climb out, fall over affair. And this is Ahmed Bin Kanan against Joseph Newgarden. Again, both rookies, but Ahmed got his place through the Rock Factor Skills Challenge, and it's no slouch.
He certainly is no slouch, and he could put himself through here to the quarterfinals. Whichever one of these drivers wins will go through. So which one of them is going to withstand the pressure best? We've seen actually Ahmed Bin Kanan has done an absolutely brilliant job, as you say, so far this weekend. Has managed to keep a real cool head, has done most of the winning, I think all the winning for Team Saudi Arabia. He's got the support of the home crowd, and this will do his reputation absolutely no harm whatsoever. Meanwhile, Newgarden has just been having an absolute blast. I've never seen him not smiling, laughing, talking about how sideways he was, you know, absolutely loving it.
I've got to say that before doing the driver's briefing, Yazid Al-Raji's company brought pizzas to the driver's changing room, and Joseph Newgarden said, hey, go to Saudi Arabia, the pizza's amazing.
It was great. I must admit, I snuck in and took pizza from the driver's lounge. Here we go. Who had the least pizza earlier on is carrying the least weight around towards the finish line. And it is, in fact, Newgarden who takes it, 58.6. So Ahmed Bin Kanan, a couple of seconds back.
So he's the Indy champion from 2017, and it looks like he will go through to the quarterfinals of the Race of Champions here in Saudi Arabia.
Must have resisted that pizza, mustn't he? The extra size, thinking of the weight.
I tell you how swift he was. He was Taylor Swift.
Reference to the race suit there, people. You see the big trucks bouncing around over the crest. Super wide tyres. They're running wet weather tyres here. And that's to try and get some grip, particularly last night when it was very cold during the Rock Nations Cup in the evening. Softer compound means that they get just a little bit more grip from them.
So next up, it's an all-Swedish matchup. These guys were teammates yesterday, and you have to feel that Johan felt maybe a little bit like he didn't have the backup that he wanted from Joel Eriksson. So now it's a chance for Joel Eriksson to show what he can do, because he does already have one win in this group. So can he get another one against the man that Timo Bernhard tipped for the champion of champions?
If he does get another win, of course, that should see him go through. But if Kristoffersson takes it, it's all to play for between the runners-up. And it's not such a good start on the inside lane. So problem there for Kristoffersson at the start. Didn't manage to get the car away. And he's now going to have to push really, really hard. So Joel Eriksson gets the better start of the two. And Kristoffersson will know that. You can see he's on a big push as he comes up over the crest. Eriksson underneath the bridge, out towards the very edge of the track. So the rock car, absolutely fantastic fun. With the driver saying it's very neutral to drive. It's got a sequential gearbox in it, so it's not so hard to miss gears and things. And what's the gap going to be like as they come around to the line? This is going to be super close. So at the finish, there's more than a second in it. Johan Kristoffersson has got to really go for it.
This is going to be incredibly close, because Kristoffersson knows that he's on the back foot and he's unemotional, but he is actually going to have to go slightly over his average 99.9% push. He might have to go all out.
Here we go then, round towards the flag. Joel Eriksson got the better start. Kristoffersson, though, been pushing hard all the way through this run. Who's going to take the line? It's going to come down to the timing screens. It's that close. Eriksson! Oh, my goodness me, Eriksson by 100th.
Just over 100ths of a second. So that mistake on the start line was everything. And
absolutely everything.
And Joel managed to keep a really cool head to keep that lead, because, you know, if you know you're ahead, you're going to go, oh, I've got to hit every apex.
2 wins apiece for Kristoffersson and Eriksson, so it looks like both those guys might well go through. What's the time, though? So the best time at the minute is a 58.0 for Kristoffersson. So Kristoffersson is currently topping the group, and we've still got Rast versus Norris to go. So if René Rast can beat Lando Norris, in fact, his time is then better than Eriksson, so we'd see Eriksson go out. So it's going to come down to the last race in Group C to see who qualifies as the second place runner.
I think the maths that we were just doing was exactly what Tom and
they were just
doing.
nodding. Maybe they were listening. I like to think they were listening, going, yes, I think they're correct. Although they won't, because if you've ever seen anything I've commentated before, you know I'm notoriously bad at on-air maths.
It'd be interesting to watch Johan's body language now, because he won't be happy. He likes everything to go his own way, sort of competition-wise, because he always thinks that he does everything right. Do you know what I mean? He's like such an animal, such a machine.
I think he'll let it go, though, pretty quickly, too, and move on to the next thing. So, and of course, although Eriksson's got that would be great for Eriksson. You say, yes, he will know. He won't need telling. You know, Kristoffersson won all 3 races yesterday for Team 3, and unfortunately, Eriksson put it in the wall, and he was gutted. You could tell he was gutted. And that's so he's happy now. He's proved that he can do the job against someone, of course, who is a world champion, and that's what you want to do. So nicely done. But is Eriksson going to go through with Kristoffersson, or is it going to be Kristoffersson and somebody else that qualifies? We're going to head across, I think, to, is it Group D now?
Yes, we've got Petter Solberg versus Yazid Al-Rajhi. So this is very nice. 2 rally purists.
Petter Solberg, 2003 World Rally Champion, now competing, of course, in Rallycross, where he's also won 2 World Championships. Yazid Al-Rajhi, 2012 SWRC was 3rd, FIA WRC regular since 2008. And in fact, Yazid Al-Rajhi took Petter Solberg on a tour of Riyadh the other day. Lovely pictures of those 2. And Petter was saying what a fantastic time he'd had out here. So great stuff.
And Yazid Al-Rajhi, of course, is fresh from... because this is an off-season event. And, of course, historically, it's always in December, the weekend after the last Formula 1 race of the season. But now, for now, it's end of January, beginning of February. And Yazid Al-Rajhi is just back from the Dakar Rally. And he sort of... his car at one point was really drifting into the sea. But he's, of course, spent a lot of time over the years with Petter Solberg, because they were in the same championship for years when Petter was still in the WRC. So these 2 know each other, and it should be interesting to compare their styles.
Now, Solberg's at the top of Group D at the minute on 2 wins from Joseph Newgarden. Yazid Al-Rajhi has no wins, so this is about whether or not Solberg gets 3 and goes through clearly at the top of the group or not. Good start by both of them. Big roar from the V8 and a big roar from the crowd as well. They both round the left-hander. Al-Rajhi ran a little bit wide on the exit there. Solberg, meanwhile, kept it tidy on the inside. And Solberg super straight over the jump as well. Just kept it beautifully tidy for the down slope. Again, loads of revs getting inside. Al Rajhi was rapid in this yesterday, so do not count him out. It's going to be tight on the line here on the first lap. So Al Rajhi is on the pace, but he's been on the pace twice already, and then we've seen him have a spin mid-run. This is where he span yesterday. He doesn't today, so Yazid Al Rajhi putting in a great performance. The crowd know it as well. We keep hearing a little ripple of roar from them.
So from this, I would say that Petter's got this, but only by less than half a second. I reckon that if it stays exactly as it is, Petter's going to get this.
Okay, well, let's see. All to play for as they come round the last corner towards the line. Solberg is ahead. He's just got the blast to the finish. The flames fly. Solberg takes it from Al Rajhi, in fact by 1.5 in the end. So Al Rajhi, maybe with not such a good second lap, he was really, really quick on the first lap, despite that little run wide. So Solberg, 3 wins in Group D, and so we've had a clear winner of both A, B and D. It's only Group C where we've seen 2 wins apiece for Kristoffersen and Ericsson so far.
So the Norwegian has dominated this group and absolutely smashed it. And his tidier style, he's always been flamboyant in and out of the car. When I remember some of my earliest rally watching experiences have been with Petter Solberg flying through the forests and the jumps of Finland and tarmac in Germany. But it's great to see how he's evolved even now as a driver and a team manager in Rallycross.
Results of Group D, 3 races and 3 wins for Petter Solberg. Joseph Newgarden is in second place. Then it's Armin bin Karnen and Yazid Al Rajhi with 1 win and 0 wins. Understeering a lot, said Petter, but he got the job done. And he has won Group D and progresses through to the quarter-finals. So Group C to be decided. René Rast versus Lando Norris. That, of course, is assuming that Lando Norris's hand is okay to continue. Is it Yazid Al Rajhi that you said's got the fast food company, Neil? Yes, it was burgers yesterday, pizzas today. He's the most popular man down in the driver's room. I've never seen a stack of pizzas quite so high as there was in there earlier on today.
Good pizza too.
It was, yeah, it was good pizza. So we're waiting on people being loaded into the cars. I have to say we can't see anyone down there in the rock car at the moment. You can see both cars are ready. I look at some of the action from the course of the day. Ryan Hunter-Reay, Yazid Al Rajhi. That was after, I think, the stunt driving session, which he did in the middle of his race, well, the end of his race. He picks his passenger up as well. Al Rajhi's having fun here. Solberg very pleased, double thumbs up, double fist pump. Kristoffersen had a great weekend so far. He's just had the 1 loss, and that was to Ericsson, who you saw there. Mobile phones are out. Got the lights on. I saw this yesterday. It's cool. It's like a rock concert.
Yeah, I wonder if the stadium announcer has said something. Yeah. Please shine your phone lights.
Okay, there we go. So we're seeing 2 wins for Kristoffersen, 2 wins for Rast. And that will see them go through. So, okay, Montoya winning Group A with Hunter-Reay in second place. Coulthard winning Group B, Christensen in second place. So that's the quarterfinals A and B. Then if you come down to Group C, so it's Kristoffersen and Rast who've gone through. So, okay, Rast, according to that, okay, well that's different to my time screen, that's fine. Kristoffersen goes through as the winner with Rast second. Solberg goes through with Joseph Newgarden to complete the draw.
Hope I get to race him today. That would be great. But either way, I've had a blast. I think ROC's done a good job putting this event on, and everyone in Saudi Arabia has been so nice to us. So it's been a total blast either way.
And it's great to see you earning your money today. So well done. You're through. Let's see if it can continue.
Sounds good, man. Thank you.
So he's been all smiles all weekend, Newgarden. He's having a really, really good time. Now, we've got something new for you here at the Race of Champions. Yesterday, we had E-Rock, which was the E-Racer Champions. We invited 4 of the world's best sim racers to take part in the competition to win the chance to be Rudy Van Buren's teammate. Of course, Rudy Van Buren was selected for the first seat in the drive because he won McLaren's fastest racer to become one of their sim test drivers. And he joins us now up in the commentary box and will stay with us because we've got a new section of Racer Champions coming up, Gamers versus Racers. We were going to have 2 separate teams, but we were a little bit worried that the Gamers were going to trounce the Racers. So we've split the 2 up now. We've got 2 team captains, 2 vice captains, and they're going to have a match-up on the sim racer downstairs on a perfect model of this track using the KTM Crossbow. This, Neil's going to be fantastic.
Well, the E-Race of Champions yesterday was an innovation. 4 invited sim racers with the best in different fields, different platforms and different categories. They were invited to race together for a chance to race alongside Rudy, as you said, in the actual Rock Nations Cup last night, and to race on the track as well. But what's amazing about this is that those guys were invited. It was invitation only. What they're planning is for next year is during the course of this next year, you at home will be able to, if you're a pretty tasty sim driver into your esports, you could enter this and actually get your way to the next Race of Champions just based on your skills in a driving game. And Rudy, just give us a sense of how much time you've spent getting ready for this event compared to any other event.
Well, for this one, not specifically a lot, because I wasn't in the sim part of it. But normally, I can imagine.
Sorry, just to interrupt for a second. This was some of the guys yesterday racing against some of the real drivers as well, and we're a bit more from Rudy because we're going to see plenty of these sim races now. Enzo Benito was the guy who went through, wasn't he, with you, racing against Joseph Newgarden here. For some of the drivers, completely new sim for them. For some of them, they use sims
so you have to make up with it from your eyes. And sometimes it's a bit difficult to figure that out. Son of a gun! So loosen the brakes. There's like so much rear bias in this car. It's 100% the machine's fault.
I mean, you've had like loads of races, I've had nothing.
Do we do another one?
I give up on this thing. I'll get it later.
Well, we'll start again on E-Rock because we all got a bit excited there, started talking about it, and then the driver started talking as well. But great to see. You can see the difference there between Joseph Newgarden, who's not quite so used to a sim, and Enzo Benito did a brilliant job to qualify as your teammate, Rudy, through the E-Rock process. And it's pretty fascinating, the way some of the drivers can deal with the sim, and some of them just aren't really that up for it.
Yeah, you really see that, especially the older guys, with all respect for them, have a hard time adapting. The younger ones are like, they grow up with it and they familiarize with it. But then you get the old dogs like Montoya and Castroneves, and they really lack the feeling through their bum, and they struggle with it.
They want to feel it, and they want to feel the physical movement of the car, and they can't see it. And you guys look for rotation in the screen, don't you? Which to me is alien. I've tried it and I found it hard.
Yeah, specifically what you just said. You also heard Joseph say in the intro that he needs to get it through his eyes while he's used to get it through his bum. And that makes it difficult, especially on these sims. They're not motion, so it's pure vision and force feedback through the Logitech wheel only.
So you guys, Logitech, of course, providing the equipment for us this weekend, along with our sim partner, All In Sports. We're very grateful to them for being here with us and giving us this fantastic opportunity to introduce E-Rock. Remember, next year, you'll be able to take part in a competition which could see you at the Race of Champions. Taking part in E-Rock, you could even win a place on the Race of Nations team or in the Race of Champions. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. You must keep your eyes peeled on the social media channels for Race of Champions through the course of 2018 to win your chance to be here. Look at this, fantastic. Now, talk us through the McLaren sim. I know a lot of it is big secret, so you can't, but I take it that is a motion sim, is it?
Yeah, there's some motion in it, and you should just imagine it being the best sim out there. You've got a 180 screen around you, and it's just the whole experience.
Hello, we are here down on the E-Rock Sim Battle of the Champions staging arena. Have I bigged it up enough? I think I have. We have two teams that are going to go head-to-head. Hopefully the guys in commentary have explained it a little bit. We have the team captains here. We have Team Montoya and Castroneves over this side, and we have Team Coulthard and Solberg over this side. Now, guys, you've already made your choices of who you want in your team. Hopefully, we have some graphics that we can run through, but let me just go. You've gone with, well, Coulthard, you tell us. Coulthard, DC, you tell us who you've gone with in your team.
Coulthard's technically correct.
Yeah, technically. I was in racing mode.
Well, you know, I just need to borrow Peter's glasses here because, you know, my team's, our team, yeah, that's great, thank you. So we've got Enzo, Rennie, Alex, and Joseph are going all incredible sim drivers as far as my studies have told me, but we're going to see if they can perform under the heat of pressure.
It's been a tactical choice, you know, what we have done. You know, it's put a lot of effort into this.
And Elio, who have you gone with?
So we have a Brandon Lee, Christopherson, Kevin Kevin Lanoux. All right, okay, and Joel Eriksson.
It was seamless, so seamless. I can't wait to see you on this sim because you have got this nailed. Right, so first up, our competition will be against the young guns, the guys who do this on a daily, if not hourly basis. We have for you Brendan Lee on this side. Brendan, give us a wave if you wouldn't mind. Thank you very much. And on the far side, we have Enzo Benito. Enzo, give us a wave. Give us a wave. There we go. You can wave at that camera if you like. So the racing is about to get underway. I will hand back over to commentary for the racing, and let's see when it comes to Team Montoya Castroneves versus Team Coulthard Solberg. Will it be the Americans, Latin Americans? Will it be Coulthard Solberg? Let's see.
So Brendan Lee in the white sim, Enzo Benito in the orange sim. Now, if you watched E-Rock, you'll be familiar with this, but have a look at this. So you're looking at Benito in the left-hand lane as you're looking at it in the orange car. So the colour of the sim pod matches up to the colour of the car. So Brendan Lee on the inside in the white KTM, and now we're going to see two of the sim races going out. These guys, of course, had to fight it out, Rudy, against each other to try and get the drive with you in Racing Champions. It was Benito who won that.
Yeah, I wonder who's going to take it now, because Brendan showed his hand at the end of the final part after they did the run in the buggy. So I wonder if he's up for some kind of redemption here, because Enzo had the better of him over the most runs yesterday. But it will be a good way to set some stuff straight in that regard.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a little touch on the wall there, possibly, I think. But there's a little bit less at stake today as well, isn't there, for these guys? Because yesterday they were fighting for this incredible chance to take part in the real Race of Champions. And then today, you know, OK, they're fighting for the glory of their team managers, but it's not quite the same as an opportunity to race against them in the racing.
They will see different. You see how close they are now.
Super close between them. And it's Brendan Lee that takes it and then sticks it in the wall, and so did Benito as well. So both those guys putting it in the wall at the end of the race, but Brendan Lee has taken the win in the first race. Now we're going to see 4 of these sim races between the two different teams, and then at the end, if they're equal on points, I think we're going to see an extra race between the possibly between the captains or the vice captains. They're all having fun down there.
Now for me, Rudy, I do a bit of online racing. The build looks very good. The build of the stadium, the track, and just tell us how it feels relative to having done both. One of those rare people that have done both successfully over the last 24 hours. How does it compare?
It comes really close.
Really?
The KTM, which is also in the game they use, Assetto Corsa, is already really good. And they did a great job at modelling the track. It's really close to what I experienced on the real thing.
So you've seen Brendan taking his first win for Team Montoya Castroneves. Brendan, congratulations, well done on that. A very seamless win it seemed for you, but hard pushed all the way.
Yeah, Enzo, like we know, VOC champion, so it's not easy to beat him, but wish I did it yesterday, but that's racing, so hopefully next year.
Well, keep it peeled. Right, next up, thank you very much, well done to you two guys. Next up, it is a battle of Johan Kristoffersen over on the right-hand side as I look at it, and in front of me, René Rast for Coulthard Solberg and Kristoffersen for Montoya Castroneves. You will notice that the pro sim guys take their shoes off when it comes to Rast and Kristoffersen, both of them with shoes on. Brendan, would you advise that they took their shoes off, or are you happy that they have their shoes on?
Well, they're pro racing drivers, so they know what they're doing, but for the simulator, it's better to take your shoes off because you get better feel.
Did you hear that, Helio and JB?
I should have done that over there. I didn't take my shoes off.
There we go, things you learn. Right, hopefully we are all ready and set. Commentary, let's see what happens next.
So Kristoffersen versus Rast, two of the favourites, I think, for the overall champion of champions. Keeping their shoes on. You would take your shoes off, would you?
Yeah, normally, yes.
And what would say the McLaren simulator, would that have enough feedback that you would keep the shoes on? What's the level of realism there for that kind of thing?
No, you need them. The realism goes as far that the braking pressure you need to apply is the same as in real life. You don't want to do that on bare socks. It's too heavy.
Fantastic, fantastic. How's it been this last month for you? We're going to look at the racing as well. Rast versus Kristoffersen. Rast is on the inside line, but I guess it's been a wild ride, hasn't it?
Yeah, since November last year, after winning World's Fastest Gamer, my life has been upside down. There we go.
Oh dear. It's Kristoffersson that's had the big moment. So Kristoffersson with a big sideways moment in turn 1, Neil.
He was almost upside down.
Fucking oversteering this.
Oh dear, okay, so Johan, their apologies. You may have heard a slightly rude word there, so he's just getting a bit excited about the sim. Possibly doesn't realise the camera down there is live, so apologies for that at home. But you can see they're into it. They're desperate to win, and big push, and he made a mistake. So which of these guys, not these two in particular, but of the drivers you've been working with over the weekend, how many of them are really into their sims?
I think it's not that much. Every team nowadays in the big racing classes has a sim, so they're all in it, but they're not all a fan of it. I heard Helio express himself yesterday that he gets beaten a lot by all the young guys in the team as well. so they do it to get on with it and get the practice going. But it's
closer than I thought.
It's not what they want.
Both cars. I don't think the drivers are worried too much after they cross the line. So Rast, who took the win from Kristoffersson, with that big moment for Kristoffersson in turn 1.
It was very interesting. I was down in the drivers' briefing when they were picking teams. It was the classic kind of PE team captains, like looking around the room. Who do I not want to offend? But those two were the first people picked. Kristoffersson and Rene Rast were the first real racers picked by the two team captains. So they're hot-tipped this weekend, despite being rookies.
And 1-1 between the two teams, between Team DC and Team Juan Pablo Montoya. DC, of course, being David Coulthard. You must be familiar with that by now.
Yeah.
Shoes off. We're going to head down to Jenny and have another catch-up with some of the team members.
So it's 1 apiece for Team Montoya and Castroneves and Team Coulthard and Solberg. Brandon Lee winning first, and then Rene Rast next. David Coulthard, can you tell us who you have chosen to go into the sim next, please?
I think, is it Alex? Yeah. Yeah, Alex is going in next time.
Okay, good tactical move there, maybe.
No part in it at all, but...
Somehow you managed to do it. That's fine. Let's have a look. Elio, who have you chosen to go into your simulator next?
Now it's Kevin. Kevin is going Lanu, and he is calm, cool, and collect. Camera, if you can check him out, look how calm he is right now at the moment. That's
Is that a trait of your whole team?
Well, I don't know if it's a trade.
I'm not. Then I shouldn't be in the team.
I was just about to point that out. Let me say that. Okay, we are just getting the simulators ready. So it is Kevin versus Alex in the Montoya Castroneves versus Coulthard Solberg Challenge down here at the E-Rock Race of Champions stage, presented by Logitech. We are ready to go, hopefully.
Kevin Lown versus Alex Dorn-Eden. Two sim racers up against each other. I wonder if the team managers are getting wise now to the fact they probably need to put a sim racer up against a sim racer if they want a chance to take it. Very, very long hold on the lights there before getting away from the line. So do you need to use the clutch on these cars to change gear, or is it just paddle shift? How does it work?
In the sim, it's indeed pedal shift. In the real car, we need to use the clutch. It's just a normal 8-pattern gearbox, so you can try it without clutch, but I don't think you get much luck.
You don't think it's going to be too kind to the car? Yeah, fair enough. I think you raced earlier on. We saw you racing in the KTM Crossbow. You know, I mean, the stadium model that they've built is brilliant, isn't it? Race of Champions have built this fantastic model of it to use in the sim. It's almost identical.
Yeah, track-wise, it's really good, and I bet you if they would have released this track early, then many of the guys that are racing it would have driven a lot of laps.
Practice a huge amount.
Just to get that flow going off the track, because it's such a different environment. It's so tight. The barriers are everywhere.
So we're looking at Kevin Lown on the inside, Alex Dorn-Eden on the outside. I think it's going to go the way of Kevin Lown. It does. So a tap on the wall again. He takes the win, and we will have a result for you in just a few moments. That'll let us know whether or not we're going to see a team in the lead or not. Are they celebrating? They seem to be celebrating. Well, I think we've got one more race to go, but it's 1 apiece. Here we go. This is the result then. So Brendan Lee and Kevin Lown have taken the win so far for Team Juan Pablo Montoya. Kristoffersson losing out to Rene Rast. So it is 2 to Team JPM and 1 to Team DC, David Coulthard. Jenny's down there, and we're getting prepared for the final race of Gamers versus Racers.
Yeah, so this is a battle best of 5. At the moment, it's 2-1, so let's see what happens in this race. Can you tell us, Petter, who have you chosen next up in the sim?
Well, we have taken Joseph. He is the best. You know, he has told us that this is not a problem at all. No, not really, but, you know, he will do absolutely everything.
Yeah, he's a closet gamer. He basically all the time he's not out in the real car. He's locked away in a cabin all on his own.
DC, do you just mean that he's young?
Yes, that's basically it, yeah.
Elio, who have you guys chosen?
Now we have Joel Eriksson. Actually, he's doing very well out there. And now he's going to show Joseph that he can do that too.
The thing with Joseph is so immature that he picked a Disney princess to start dating.
Exactly.
And that is actually true.
That is true. His girlfriend is a princess from Disney. So, and
you guys are just jealous. Which?
Ariel.
Ariel. Wow, that's amazing. Things you didn't know.
Not my Ariel.
No, your Ariel.
Well, Joseph, don't think about her now, please, yeah?
Okay, we've got to get ahead in the game. Joseph Newgarden, you have a lot of responsibility here. You need to level things up so it's 2 apiece. Let's hand over to our commentary team and find out exactly how this race is going to go.
All to play for then in the final race. Joel Eriksson versus Joseph Newgarden. We saw Newgarden playing on the sim in our little look at the sim prior to coming into this competition. Newgarden on the inside lane, Eriksson on the outside, red lights coming on. And away from the line, decent start. Can you make a difference to the start in this, or not really? Is it just a case of dump the clutch and go, or is it you're not even using the clutch for the start on the sim?
No, you don't need to use a clutch. Oh, there you go. I don't know who the white car is, but it's spun.
Okay, spin, white car, or half spin. Manages to keep it in a straight line. It's Newgarden. So you can see at the bottom of your screen, the driver that we're looking at is highlighted in blue. So we're looking at Joel Eriksson coming around, and there's a look at Joel in the real car. Knocked out, of course, the Racer Champions about a half hour or so ago. A little bit of opposite lock there we could see. Fantastic the way we can use these cameras, Neil, to simulate a real camera position around the circuit as well. It's so realistic.
Especially a flip-flop, which we have here on the virtual game, but not in real life, which is lovely to see. That's really good flip-flop camera. So what I'm particularly impressed with here is that this shows you, no matter how much time they do put in practice, that the sim racers, the guys who do this as a competitive sport, are better than the racing drivers.
Eriksson's taken it, and for me that makes it 3 to Juan Pablo Montoya's team, and I think that they will have won the competition. So Christopherson's pleased, despite the fact he was the only one who didn't get on quite so well with the sim racing. But we're waiting to get a result, and then I think we'll see. I'm pretty sure it's Juan Pablo Montoya's team that have taken it. Here we go. It is indeed 3 wins to Team JPM. Brendan Lee, Kevin Lown and Joel Eriksson. Rene Rast taking the only win for Team David Coulthard. So it's Team Juan Pablo Montoya who has won the Racer Champions, Racers versus Gamers. We're going to head down to Jenny.
I'm not good at it. Yeah, absolutely. They're now having an argument, though, that they want to do the last round because it's the captains going in and they're going to go for it. So hopefully we've maybe got enough time to do this because it is going to... DC, you didn't want to do it?
No, I've decided that Peta is... he's still got more potential. He's younger, so he's going in the car.
Okay, so we've got Petter Solberg in the car, and Elio, you've danced with the stars, but you didn't fancy dancing on the sim.
Yeah, on the sim for me is a little bit tough. Juan Pablo always playing video game. He probably, if you saw what he's playing, so he's always. So I guarantee it's going to be a piece of cake for this guy. So no problem.
And a slight dead rubber, we have to point that out because when it comes to winning, it is Montoya versus Custer and Evans who have won the competition. But we can do this for bragging rights. That's fine because you guys as drivers, you like a bit of bragging rights, don't you?
Of course, we got a bit. That's our nature, it's our DNA. So let's see, my friend.
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll try and get these sims back up and running. Montoya very focused at the moment. Let's see, he's got shoes. You're going for the shoes on strategy.
Yeah, I ain't taking my shoes off.
Thank goodness for that. You got the memo. This is very good. And Petter on the other side, just getting ready, setting himself. In fact, they're using the team very cleverly because Enzo is giving him some tips. Oh, and now, look, Kevin's decided he's coming in and giving some tips as well. This is the team working together, trying to get the best out of themselves. So let's see, when it comes to the far from age group of normal sim races, what happens? It's over to you in the commentary box.
Right, here we go then. Petter Solberg versus Juan Pablo Montoya. Roles reversed here because, of course, these guys have been very kind to be giving their tips to the E-Rock drivers through the course of their training. And now they stand there, look, world champions of their various categories, basically having a bit of help from the sim racers. Fantastic stuff. And Rudy, you've been on the receiving end of hanging out with these drivers, and you were saying how kind they were with their advice.
Yeah, definitely. All the drivers have been really open to every single sim racer in the weekend.
They want it advice as well the other way around for the sim, which is completely illogical, and they need it. They're struggling.
I gather these guys are terrible, aren't they? From what we've heard, is Montoya and Solberg are absolutely terrible on the sim. So we're about to find it. Well, not looking too bad there. Look, on the inside, Montoya with the big sideways moments. He comes up towards the bridge, but tidy through there. Solberg nowhere near as quick as he would be in the real car through the left-hander, taking it cautiously. Look at this. Now they're all serious suddenly and able to put the lap in.
Yeah, suddenly you see the face changing, and they're taking it dead serious. They step in with a laugh, but somewhat the ego takes over in some regard. They all want to win it. You see it on the face.
Now it's hilarious, isn't it? Is that close to the wall on the outside? That's Solberg on the inside, is it? Who's had a little bit of a moment now. Same call that Montoya did on the previous lap.
Yeah, you saw one miss that corner. Oh, this one as well, but missed both the infield corners, so it might actually be close.
So Montoya in the white car, Solberg in the orange car. They've just got the long left-hander to go. I think Montoya's had the better second lap. Solberg's been thrashed, and he won't like that at all. Solberg doesn't like losing at anything, and it's Montoya that takes him. He's out the sim. Look, I'm not taking my shoes off. High fives all round, and just a good laugh. So Rudy, it's been a good experience for you, Racer Champions.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I'm very grateful that I could be here, drive the real cars, and well, let's hope it opens some doors to some real-life racing, testing possibilities, maybe even be back here. So.
Okay, well, we look forward to welcoming you back to Racer Champions anytime you want to be here. Thank you so much for coming up to the commentary box, and the very best of luck. I'm sure we'll see you in a full-size car again soon.
Thank you.
Well
Cheers,
done.
Rudy.
Great
Thank
performance.
It's funny that when they... it's a good job that Petter and Juan Pablo Montoya are in such sort of a good mood. I think that's mainly because they are still in the overall competition. They are in the quarterfinals of the Race of Champions. I think things would be a bit different if that was an added insult to injury of not winning the races there. For me personally, one of the reasons I would take my shoes off to play video games when I was a bit younger is that it was in my mum's house. So you have to take your shoes off anyway.
Right, we're going to have some updates for you on who has made it through to the quarter-final stages. So we've had some changes, and I'll explain those to you when we see the graphics, because that will give you a much better idea of exactly what's going on, who's made it through and why. So I'll run you through that once we've got the motocross guys off the rock crossover bridge. They've been out there doing the backflips for us. Look at that, they don't have to worry about where the tarmac is. They can take whatever line they like, crossing over the dirt, crossing over the grass, left, right, wherever they want. Crowd enjoyed that as well. They do like any form of extreme motorsport out here. Drifting, extremely popular, but great stuff. Fantastic entertainment for the crowd from all of our stunt riders and drivers. Good job, lads. Safely home. Right, here you go then. From Group A, Juan Pablo Montoya, Ryan Hunter-Reay going through to their relative quarterfinals. David Coulthard and Tom Christensen from Group B. Remember, the winner of each group faces the runner-up from the other. Kristoffersson and Ericsson has been given the nod. The reason for that is him and Rast did not drive the same car in the first round, so it came down to a split as to who had the faster time. They were both on 2 wins, and in fact, they both drove the Atom, so they had to take the time from that. That is why Ericsson goes through, not Rene Rast. Solberg and Newgarden going through from Group D, and that gives us our quarter-finals. David Croft is down in the holding area. Let's have a catch-up with him.
And here is the lineup then. Juan Pablo Montoya's car, Tom Christensen's car, and all the rest lining up behind these two. Now, Thomas said he will give us an answer to one question. He's just getting strapped in at the moment. Let's see if we can't just pose that question for 2 seconds. Tom Christensen, so many times you've come so close to winning the Champion of Champions. Can you knock out the reigning champion right now, right here?
I would say if I do, it would be good timing at least. But you know, I'm enjoying coming here every time, and when I put my helmet on like I just did, I really want to do my best, and I've just had a lot of great time, a lot of great success here. But yeah, the Nations Cup we have done, I have never won this, but on this side of 50, I don't think there's a lot of people who will bet on me.
Yeah, this is your motivational pep talk. Go get Montoya, Christensen.
I try. Thank you.
No problems.
Christensen all smiles, and he will try, because of course he's been the runner-up at this competition so many times. He's competed in it many times, and he's desperate to take the win. Juan Pablo Montoya, of course, is the current champion. So which one of these two is going to go through to the semi-finals? They're using the rock car. course, it's 0 to 60 in 2.9, 368 brake horsepower per tonne from a 1.1 litre four-cylinder engine, 475 kilograms. Been with us since 1999. Gran Canaria is a driver's favourite.
Now, of course, this is a replay of last year's final. Juan Pablo Montoya beat Tom Christensen in the final in Marlins Park, Miami last year. In 2015, in the London Olympic Stadium, it was Sebastian Vettel who beat Tom Christensen in the final. He's been beaten in the final by some of the best in the world, Romain Grosjean, Sebastian Ogier.
That's not much of a thing for you, Steve, is it? I've been beaten in the final by some of the best in the world. But yeah, you're right.
But this is a replay of last year's final, and one of them will not make it through.
He looked intense to me as well in the interview with Crofty down there. You know, he's serious about this. He really, really wants to win. So we're through to the knockout stages. This is one race each. You're either going through or you're going home. Juan Pablo Montoya, the current Race of Champions champion, is on the inside line. Christensen on the outside. Montoya started from further back behind the line there, but actually lit the car up, got off the line nicely. But Christensen is going to have a big push here. Watching Montoya on the inside, rotates the buggy around for the apex. Oh, a touch on the Tech Pro barriers. How much has he moved it? He could get a warning for that, Juan Pablo Montoya.
From here, it looks like it's about 13 centimetres, which will be a warning, but I'm a long way away. So I'm, you know,
oh, look at that. So close onto the side. We're on board, I'm pretty sure, with Christensen. Yes, we are. Look at the look on Christensen's face. This is the look of concentration. He reaches down with the sequential lever, bangs it down a cog into the left-hander now, and up and over through the chicane. He managed to avoid the plastic this time and down the other side.
Now, they've both been so tidy so far, but it shows how much the pressure is because they're making little mistakes. They're starting to feel it. They really care.
Can Juan Pablo Montoya go through, or is he going to be knocked out? He's the current champion, but he's up against Christensen, who's come so close so many times. It couldn't be closer as they come down to the line. Christensen takes it. The champion has been knocked out. Juan Pablo Montoya is gone from the Race of Champions. The champion of champions has the crown no more, and Christensen has one more chance to take that title he's been trying for so long. And there's a little wry smile on his face. He wants it.
Oh, he's got a twinkle in his eye, TK. That is brilliant. So, yeah, so the replay of last year's final has gone the other way, and with a few touches, a little bit ragged.
Are we going to see any warnings for either? For me, I mean, if I were to say either of them had gained any time from it, you'd say Juan Pablo Montoya at the bridge. But if we're honest, I think probably a warning apiece there, and we can see nothing on the timing screen. So Montoya is going to go out and look at this. The rotation for Christophe. He's got the car beautifully balanced and sideways, and that was super close.
Yeah, good job.
Montoya says good job.
Too loose. Mine was too loose.
Okay, so
I just stayed on it like ever. I was. You're obviously a man.
Always good to listen to the driver. So Montoya saying mine was really loose. I mean, it will be. You know, it's on. We've had a break, don't forget. We've been off track now for about 40 minutes, and that's meant that things have cooled down a little bit. And if you're interested, by the way, during that 40 minutes where we were off track was a prayer break locally, which is really important for us to respect when we come to a new region like the Middle East. Great to be here, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So on to the next one, yes. Oh, mega start on the inside by Coulthard, unless it was a jump start. So David Coulthard versus Ryan Hunter-Reay. Coulthard got it absolutely lit up.
So you have to either question whether Ryan Hunter-Reay was asleep there and didn't make the start, or didn't quite have it in gear, or whether DC just judged the lights perfectly, because of course the lights are the same length of time. There's no sort of variation in the lights, so you can guess when the lights are going to go green, and if you back far enough, just launch.
Well, that was of course what we saw in the previous run, with him starting slightly behind the line and trying to go for it early and not get the jump start. So 0.3 of a second back for DC. Of course, remember the stagger, and you can listen on board. Listen with the turbo wastegate on here. There you go, you hear it. We lift off the throttle and the turbo dumps all the extra pressure. I love that noise.
You do an impression of it.
I'll do it, I'm not going to do it now. I'll put it on social media at some point. The old Ford wastegate I did the impression of. This is about who's going to go through from this quarter-final. On the inside, it was Coulthard who got a brilliant start, and he's held it right the way through. So it's kind of two Racing Champions regulars have gone through so far. David Coulthard is through to face Tom Christensen in the first of our semi-finals.
So more than half the field this year are rookies. So could this be the year that the regulars, the people that have been doing it, you know, all the time I've been doing it, DC and TK, are they finally going to, is DC going to have another win after his 2014 Barbados victory, or is TK going to get his first?
Well, we've got some newbies coming in the second set of quarterfinals, so it could be the regulars against the rookies. Here we go then. Tom Christensen goes through from the first of the quarterfinals. David Coulthard from the second of the quarterfinals. That gives you semi-final A. Tom Christensen versus David Coulthard. Have a look down at the bottom there. Kristoffersson, Newgarden, Ericsson, they're all rookies. Tom all smiles. You saw very much smiles when he was in the car. Kristoffersson versus Newgarden is next. Both these guys are rookies at the Race of Champions, and this is what we were saying. We've got 2 regulars gone through in semi-final A. Solberg's been here before, but all 3 of the others haven't. So if we get a rookie semi-final on the other side, we're going to end up possibly with rookie versus regular in the final. And remember, the final will be a 3-leg affair. So Johan Kristoffersson, the current FIA World Rallycross champion, Porsche Carrera Cup hero as well, 3 times champion in Scandinavia. Joseph Newgarden, the IndyCar champion 2017. So we've got 2 guys here at the very top of their game.
It was brilliant to watch Johan Kristoffersson there before they released the cars from the car changing area, because his eyes, he was going through the circuit. It was like watching one of those, a bobsleigh
where they visualise the track.
Visualising the track, and that's what he was doing. You've got to read his mind. It was written all over his face, and that's the level of focus that the Swede has.
That mirrored visor we've seen a lot in rallycross, shuts it down and puts himself into his own world. He's going to need to bring the focus he bought for that title, and Newgarden likewise for his IndyCar title last year. We've got 2 current champions on the line. Oh, a lot of wheel spin on the outside for Newgarden. Kristoffersson got the better start in the end, although it looked like he had a slightly slower reaction time. So Johan Kristoffersson on the inside. Advantage off the start. Newgarden on the outside. Kristoffersson threads it through the chicane, manages to miss all the plastic, so that's the potential penalty gone. And where's Newgarden's off? Sorry, Newgarden's gone off right in front of the commentary position, and that puts Kristoffersson through.
Yeah, that's braking for the left-hander to go under the bridge, which is a very, very hard braking zone. I think the hardest braking zone of the whole circuit. He's just, I guess, if we will see a replay, but that is fully, heavily on the brakes to turn left there.
We just looked up to check the Tech Pro barriers on top of the bridge from the commentary position, and as that happened, into the barrier has gone Newgarden. So
let's have a look.
That's the exit to the quick left, and he's leapt on the brakes, look, and it's just instantly locked up. So 2 passengers on board that one, I'm afraid. Into the wall, here we go, listen. That was so borderline, because you heard it wasn't a full screech, so the constant screech means completely locked, and the juddering screech means on and off locked on the way in. He's feathered the brake as much as he can, desperately trying to get that grip back to the front and turn it in. But Newgarden, I'm afraid, has eliminated himself at the quarter-final stage, and that's going to put Johan Kristoffersson through to the semi-finals. So a lot easier than we thought. All that adrenaline in there, and then it all gets done back out again. So he'll be pleased, but in some ways, it's, you know, it's kind of tough. But you win it the way you win it.
Oh yeah, he'll take a win anyway, and that's a shame for Joseph. But that may well be sort of the dropping temperatures, because a hard left, that's like a dog leg left, and the cold tarmac.
Remember, of course, it was Joel Eriksson as well that locked that same car up yesterday in cold conditions in the evening and went straight on at turn 1. So yeah, dead right. You know, cold temperatures.
Yeah.
Things are dropping off. Johan's disappearing off to stick his helmet into the rack there, along with his Simpson Hans device. A lot of legendary gear down there. Some of the drivers turning up unbranded. Some of them, of course, are still factory drivers that are in their works race suits. We've got the drift cars down there. Are they about to head out for a run? Or
I think
are we going to,
Joel Eriksson, who's coming up next against Petter Solberg, will be watching that and having flashbacks to yesterday.
He certainly will. Here it is again. He saw it. Did you see he released the brake just as he got towards the point of impact? Smoke, 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 then suddenly not. And to be fair, yeah, he turned it off here. So again, watch. So literally, the thing is here, you're talking, he stayed on the throttle for like 100th longer than before and went on the brake 200ths later than before, and that's the difference between being on or being off. So the drift cars are down there, but we are lining the NASCARs up for the last of our quarter-finals.
And that's don't forget, that's the end of the fastest corner of the entire circuit, where they might be in third gear and then braking for the slowest corner of the entire circuit.
Yeah,
so it's
tricky.
Hugely, massively on the anchors.
I'm really enjoying this wider Race of Champions track because it's given us the chance to see that extra speed, and with that, you know, remember, these are the world's best drivers. We're seeing the mistakes creep in. That's because the speed is higher and they're having to go full commitment to try and take their place in the final stages of this fantastic competition. Solberg versus Joel Eriksson in the last of our quarterfinals. Solberg on the inside, with a mega start. We know Solberg likes this car. He's had great results in it so far. A little bit squirrely on the brakes there. He turned the car in, braking at the same time, gets it turning on the inside. Joel Eriksson will be happy, of course, because he took a win against his teammate Kristoffersson in the group stage last time he was out. So Eriksson, sideways from Eriksson in the NASCAR as he exits through the tunnel.
Now, you have to wonder, because a lot of Swedish drivers, of course, they race, and he's racing from Formula 3, but you wonder if he's had sort of racing on ice or racing on gravel, because a lot of them come through those in the early stages of driving because there's so much ice and snow during the winter months. So he's clearly got good car control simply from, being a Swedish driver.
Certainly, they get used to, we know a lot of good rally drivers, a lot of good car control comes out of Scandinavia. Gravel roads a lot of the year round and snow in the winter, but who's going to take this one? It was about half a second in it as they came round at the end of the first lap, but on the inside lane it is Petter Solberg who takes the win, locks the wheels up with some style over, and Solberg goes through to face his teammate from the World Rallycross Championship, Johan Kristoffersson, in semi-final number 2. We've got one rookie left, that's Kristoffersson. Christensen, Coulthard and Solberg are all regulars, and they are through to the semis.
Now, there's only ever been 3 World Rallycross champions. It's been Petter Solberg twice, Matthias Ekström, who's a champion of champions, a former Race of Champions winner, and Johan Kristoffersson. So that shows you the level that we're talking about here and what Race of Champions brings. But bringing those two together, that's extraordinary, because we've seen them race each other quite hard all season as teammates and rivals. And of course, your greatest rival in motorsport is always your teammate. So that's going to be a classic semi-final.
Juan Pablo Montoya and Tom Christensen went in the first of the quarterfinals. Christensen went through. Coulthard then beat Hunter Ray. That completed semi-final A for us. Kristoffersson beat Newgarden when Newgarden went off. Solberg took it from Eriksson. That sets up a brilliant semi-final B with the teammates from the World Rallycross Championship. We've got a couple of races left, and we're going to find out who's in the final for the Race of Champions.
No, you hate making a mistake like that. Just didn't think about what I needed to do braking-wise. So hopefully I'll come back and learn from the experience and try and get on top of it next time.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. We would like to see you back. Long year ahead. Looking forward to this season?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, it's for us in IndyCar, it's a long off-season. It's 5-6 months off, so it'll be good to just get back to the track, doing what we do every day, working with the engineers. That's where we get the most fun, so I can't wait for it to get started.
And we can't wait to see you back out on track. Thanks for joining us this weekend.
Absolutely, thank you.
Johan, the crowd going crazy for the drifting, but the pressure at the moment, how are you thinking and how are you feeling, because you're going up against your teammates with your normal day job, Petter Solberg?
Yeah, I know exactly what to expect, and I know that I need to be very quick, clean, make a good run to beat him, and that's what I'm aiming for.
You know his weaknesses, you know his strengths. Is that going to help you?
Yeah, for sure. And I know all his strengths, and those are many, so I just have to make a very clean clean run, no mistakes, and I cannot be too cautious because then he's going to beat me, so I will see.
Yeah, we were just talking about which car you're going to go into. We're trying to work out if it's the Vool or not. Is that a good one for you or not?
I haven't found anyone which is not good so far, so it should be okay.
Got it, Ace. Good luck.
Thank you.
He's such a diplomat, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's also, it's the confidence thing. He's like, doesn't matter which car I see, it's fine. He just has that, I'm going to go out there, this is what I'm going to do. Plan, execute, done. And that was what they did with his World Rallycross title. Him and his dad were like, we want to win the World Rallycross Championship. Did a few events, did a few more events. Third place runner-up champion. Literally, it was make a plan, execute plan. And he did that last year. It's fascinating to me. And we see it in, quite a few forms of motorsport, but it takes this incredible clinical ability to control your emotions and get the job done. So yeah, cannot wait to see Kristoffersson versus Solberg, but of course before that we've got Christensen versus Coulthard. I mean, this is a mega lineup for the semi-finals.
Well, we just spoke to your rival in this semi-final, but Petter, how do you feel about going against your teammate?
Well, this is how it is, He's very good on tarmac, I must say. He has a lot of experience, and I do my best. I really enjoy driving here, and I come quite far. But of course, it would have been really good fun to beat him. But let's see. I will do absolutely everything I can assure you.
The other heat's Tom Christensen versus David Coulthard. Who do you think is going to win out of that one?
Tom.
Let's see what happens. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Solberg knows he's going to have to try hard. They both know each other so well. You know, Kristoffersson said, I can't afford to lift off because he'll beat me. And Solberg knows the same thing. Solberg, you know, he's one of those drivers you put your money on to be able to give it an 11 out of 10 push, but let's see.
Well, of course, Solberg is best known for all of his years as a rally driver and 2003 World Rally Champion. This was a competition formed 30 years ago for rally drivers, and what's interesting is the last time an actual rally driver won Race of Champions was 2011 in Dusseldorf with Sebastian Ogier, and then before that it was Sebastian Loeb. So it'll be really interesting to see if Petter Solberg can kind of reclaim the competition from the racing world, because ever since Heikki Kovalainen won it, it's not been won by rally drivers very often.
We've got 2 racing drivers in there. Could it be a rally cross driver?
Yep.
We're going to find out very soon. Okay, here we go. Semi-final number 1. Tom Kristensen versus David Coulthard. Coulthard has won the overall driver's title. He's been champion at the Race of Champions before. Kristensen has not. Kristensen's come close so many times. He would love to win this. Kristensen on the inside with a bit more tyre smoke than Coulthard. Both of them got a very, very even start there on the way down towards turn 1. The big extreme pickups with the V8 are great for both of them through the first 2 corners, and through the tightening left-hander over the top of the bridge goes Kristensen, and Coulthard underneath.
Just can't imagine what's going through their mind. You know, they've been doing Race of Champions together for many years. They're very, very good friends. David won it in Barbados in 2014. TK has been regularly beaten in the final. So this is go hard or go home. And
Very
someone
much.
will be going home.
Very much, yeah. Well, I don't mind who we get through, but, you know, Kristensen, you kind of get the feeling he's the one who's going to want it more. But, you know, he's got to overcome Coulthard, who is just a legend at Race of Champions. He just knows how to get the job done.
Well, TK just had it up on 2
around
wheels.
the right hand, and Kristensen's run into the barriers as well. So around the outside comes David Coulthard. This one's going to be super close. This is for a place in the final, and it goes to Coulthard. David Coulthard is through to the final of the Race of Champions in Saudi Arabia, and it will not be Kristensen's year again, despite trying hard. 2 wheels through the barriers. It was Coulthard who makes it. DC's in then.
Amazing.
This was the moment through the barriers that was cut, I suppose, would be in the pace notes there. Though you wouldn't cut if there was something that significant in the way. He didn't mind, did he? Really wanted to make it, but he was beaten anyway, and he was given a warning for that too. The timing screen is just showing a warning for track limits, basically, for Tom Kristensen. But either way, David Coulthard is the first of our drivers to make it through to the final of the Race of Champions. Climbs out of the tricky extreme pickups.
Still snake-hipped and fit, so he can get in and out quite easily.
He makes that look very... I found that incredibly hard to get out. That makes me very cross indeed.
And this will be nice, because I know that Tom Kristensen will be disappointed, but for all the people to go through to the final, it'll be one of his, the Race of Champions veterans. He'll be happy about that.
Okay, so Kristensen's just saying, basically, I'm pretty sure I got a penalty. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But also that Coulthard had gone through, so Coulthard was in front of him anyway, so... DC got the job done, put himself through into the final. Now this is going to be some race in the Vool 05 Rock Edition. 3.2 seconds 0 to 60, 444 brake horsepower per tonne, and that's because it's a 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine in a car that only weighs 675 kilograms. So I know this is a race that a lot of you at home are going to want to watch, particularly if you're familiar with my voice. My day job, if you like, is commentator for the FIA World Rallycross Championship, and these 2 guys, Solberg's been the champion of it twice. Kristoffersson is the current World Rallycross champion. But most importantly, if you're not familiar with it, they are teammates for VW in the World Rallycross Championship. Sweden versus Norway, and it's a bad start for Kristoffersson on the inside, and he got that earlier on today. And that, Neil, was enough for it to be game over. He's going to have to go like mad now to try and beat Solberg.
Oh, he'll be absolutely gutted that just happened, because he'll have watched that Norway flag to the side of him just launching off, and he'll have been, oh, that's it. Because he knows now that Petter will not make a mistake. Petter has become tidier and tidier over the last 12 to 18 months as he's tackled more tarmac, and he's just getting better and better. So Johan will really have to drive out of his skin to overhaul his teammate.
Solberg almost in the wall on the inside, so he is still pushing himself. He hasn't made too much of a mistake. He's kept it tidy over the bridge. Solberg, with his brand new glasses on, is giving him the accuracy he needs to keep it close to the apexes, and he'll need that to beat Christophersen, his teammate from the World Rallycross Championship. It's going to be tight, but it looks to be advantage Solberg as they come through the last corner. That start has cost Johan Christophersen big time, and it is Petter Solberg who goes through to the final. Christophersen is out, and the final is Coulthard versus Solberg. All about the start there. I think, you know, you look how close it was at the end. If Christophersen hadn't had that little mistake, then I think he'd have made it through. He'd be disappointed, but it is Solberg, the World Rally Champion and the double World Rally Cross Champion, who goes through. He's going to try and win back the honour for the word rally in your discipline. Coulthard, of course, from the background of F1 and a legend at the Race of Champions. Solberg's been here a few times before. He's not picked up the individual big trophy, and he would dearly like to.
Coming up with Coulthard now, that will be very, very interesting, because he's, you know, all the fox, you know, when it's about driving. So I will do everything I can, and let's see.
It gives that impression, David Coulthard, that he doesn't care what happens. He's just here to have a bit of fun. We know that's a complete lie.
That is absolutely just bullshit, because he is really focused and he wants to win, you know, and same with me. But I will give him a hard time. For sure, I'm not a tarmac specialist, you know, so actually he should be winning easy. You know?
Should be, but nothing's ever easy in this game. You've gone and won the Rock Nations Cup. What will it mean to you to actually lift the Champion of Champions trophy?
I tell you, don't talk about it. You know, I will keep my focus now, and I really want to win this. You know, I've been waiting so many years. We have won the Nations Cup, and that's been a very big thing for me and Tom together. So, but this one, standing very high if I can do it.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Terry Grant putting on a bit of a show for everybody out there. Now, I'm calling this with Solberg. Said to him the other day, the glasses, they'll make you fast. He goes, no, he said, I think I'm fast enough. Well, I disagree, Petter. Looks like you're on it now. We're going to head down and have a chat with Jenny. She is down in the paddock and has grabbed another one of our competitors.
So it is game on. You versus Petter. Are you in the zone?
Honestly, no, but I'm just enjoying my runs, and Petter's been really strong, but I haven't lost today, so I just try and keep doing the same thing.
He says it's the glasses doing it for him. Have you got any special glasses?
I'm getting my eyes lasered next week, so maybe this is the right time to do it.
Get in a car, go.
Okay, thank you.
There we go, they're all giving away this. We're all, us old men are all going slightly not so good on the vision front.
So we know that Petter Solberg, one of the biggest rivalries of his career was with Mr. Sebastian Loeb. Now, Sebastian Loeb has won Race of Champions 3 times, and the fact that Petter Solberg hasn't won it will dig away at him at something else that Sebastian Loeb has beaten him at. There's also the fact that, listen to this, Juha Kankkunen, Francois Delacour, Didier Auriol, Colin McRae, Tommi Mäkinen, Marcus Grönholm, Ogier and Loeb, they're all the rally drivers that have won Race of Champions over the years, over the 30 years of this event. If Petter Solberg can add his name to that list and reclaim it for the discipline that it was originally created for, that'll be huge for him and for the organisers. But can DC stop him? That's the big question. And if you look, when we came into this, we were talking about it yesterday, Andrew, in the Rock Nations Cup, and all the time today. There's a huge field of rookies this year. Lots of people are doing Race of Champions for the first time, but who's made it through to the final?
Yeah, and I wasn't sure. Certainly, when we looked at the draw, you know, the quarterfinals, we had 3 rookies. Ryan Hunter and Ray, of course, Montoya have been here before. So yeah, we had 3 rookies in the second half of the draw, basically the quarterfinals. You know, and then we got through to the semi-finals, and you know, we had only Christophersen left. Now we got through to the final, and he's gone. So yeah, you're right. Basically, the experienced guys got through. And that might be the format. It might be this jumping in and out of cars. It was very interesting to me. Joseph Newgarden, you know, IndyCar champion now, and you know, Christophersen as well. But Newgarden particularly said, I got in the car, I forgot about the brakes, I was thinking of the other car, basically made a mistake, and he just, hats off, I made a mistake. And it's these other guys who are maybe able to adapt a little bit quicker. So very interesting indeed. Preparing ourselves for the final of the Race of Champions at the King Fahd International Stadium. Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. 3 runs still to come.
Well, I'm with Elio Castroneves, and clearly it's getting a little chilly here. People think that Barbados was a blast. It was, and it was warm. This is a different experience.
Yeah, even Miami was actually sweaty, but now here it's a little bit different. But I tell you what a great final. Well, DC and Peta, I mean, we were actually talking about Peta's being on a roll here. So, but DC brought his game here as well. So it's going to be a great battle. Hopefully, well, best man win, and let's see what happens.
Who would you like to win?
Well, DC already won, correct? And I don't think Peta won yet. So it would be great to have a new champion.
I like the way you're going. And when it comes to driving in a final, it's a best of 3 competition. How do you approach it? Do you just go all out? Do you play the odds? What are you thinking as a driver?
The way I believe those guys, since Peta's being in the momentum, I think he's going to continue the strategy, pushing hard. Once you got to make your strategy according to the result of the first one. And I feel that's what's going to happen. I think Peta might going to win the first one. This is going to come blazing hot, and then we're going to have a great race.
Tell you what, it's really interesting because you guys are all jokers. It's part of Race of Champions that you come out here, you have a blast, and you get in the cars and have a good fun out there as well. But actually, when it comes to the final, when it comes to 2 Race of Champions stalwarts like Solberg and DC, they're going to go for it, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. Trust me. I'm actually having an interview with you right now because I'm being polite, because I would be so upset. No, just joking. But it's actually, it's the nature, it's the competitive nature of any race car driver. And I believe it, right now we're actually cheering for each other. It's a great event because you start making friends with everyone. But in the end of the day, you're the one who's going to be there. But now I'm going to have to wait maybe next year, hopefully.
Well, lovely to see you again. Thanks for taking part. Let's see who wins in the grand final.
So this is David Coulthard's 11th Race of Champions versus Peta Solberg's 5th, and it was brilliant there while Jenny was talking to Helio that DC was getting the tyre temperature told to him by the scrutineer that all the tyres are 30 degrees. Amazing.
13 times the Grand Prix winner, 2 times the Monaco Grand Prix, won the Macau GP early in his career. David Coulthard, a rock legend. Peta Solberg, double World Rallycross champion, World Rally champion, 1998 Norwegian Rally. So, you know, again, going a long way back. These guys have been competing a very long time, and this will mean a lot to them.
Going back even further, of course, Peta Solberg was a disco dance champion in his teenage years.
And radio control cars now.
Yes.
Yeah, he was, yeah, amazing. Very, very long careers for both these guys. But now it comes down to 3 runs.
Best of 3. Now they're going to be driving in the NASCARs, then the Vauls, then the Crossbows. So they better know which is the ones that they're strongest in and get an early result.
Well, we know that Solberg really likes the NASCAR. So
yeah.
Solberg, I think, is going to go all guns blazing here. It doesn't matter if you go off, remember, it does, clearly, but if you go off in the first run, you've still got 2 to go. It's not game over. It's all to play for. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, first time for the Race of Champions in the Middle East, and the final is underway. David Coulthard versus Peta Solberg. Solberg in the outside lane, both of them with a good start. I think Coulthard edged it on the way down into the first corner. Coulthard safely negotiates to the left, up and over the bridge, doesn't touch the Tecro barriers, and meanwhile Solberg is underneath the bridge. You see the Norwegian flinging the car into the right hand, really early on the gas, desperately trying to chase down that clock. Solberg then around the left, now DC as well, so Solberg's on the inside, wants the stagger again to be on the first lap. Oh, every inch of the track on the outside, almost into the wall, and there's only 7/10 in it.
It's incredible. Now you've got to see how Peta can take the infield, because he's got to dance around those Tech Pro barriers on the bridge and then take this very tricky section, which must feel so slow.
Got to be patient, got to try and find the traction he wants to find. Solberg a little bit sideways on the exit of the corner. The V8 roar as they come around the long left-hander towards the finish line. Who's going to take leg 1 of the final here? It's the inside lane. David Coulthard takes it in the NASCARs, and you might have had your money on Solberg there because this is his favourite car, but it's 1-0 to Coulthard in Riyadh. And he could be looking at his 2nd Champion of Champions title at the Race of Champions. We've got 2 races still to go, and Solberg must win the next one.
Pressure's on Peta Solberg. He can handle pressure.
He can, but I mean, you know, this is now, it's advantage Coulthard, isn't it, massively, because he's in that position where He's got one under his belt. So again, he can go flat out now, take a risk. It doesn't matter if I go off, whereas Solberg can't. If he goes off, it's game over. But likewise, Coulthard can go, do you know what? I'll push and we'll see how it goes. I've still got leg 3. So he's kind of got choice of tactics. Solberg has got to win. Coulthard doesn't want to lose a leg. He's not going to want to give a leg away, but he can choose how he approaches it.
So they're not in any hurry to get into the other cars, which is interesting. That's a chance for them to recenter themselves, to get sort of allow the adrenaline to unpump. There's the Race of Champions president, Fredrik Jonsson, there, just telling them something about the barriers and what they're going to do when they have to go to the podium after this, because of course that's what's happening next. Either at the end of this race or the next one, we will see donuts from them, and then taking the trophies and the title of Champion of Champions 2018.
Solberg signing the side of the car. That's a nice touch, isn't it? Jumps in. I'm sure they asked him to. He's not just graffiti. He doesn't randomly sign cars. Don't worry if you party car near Solberg's house.
He's also one of Norway's finest tag artists. I can often see him up on a bridge late at night.
With a big PS.
That's why he's got his glasses on, because he kept spelling it wrong. OK, here we go.
So drivers being strapped in, passengers are in already, and they were asking them to keep the arm completely out of the way, and that is, of course, because this car's got an H-pattern box. They need as much space as they can possibly get to make sure that they can get those gear changes perfect. It all comes down to this. Solberg has to beat Coulthard in the Bull. If Coulthard takes it, then it's game over. He is the champion of champions. If Solberg takes it, then we go to a decider.
And what an opportunity for the passengers here. I think that they might be some of our E-Rock competitors. I think that is Kevin Lohner, whose gamer tag is Sonic, sitting alongside Petter Solberg.
It is.
And Petter said in the interview earlier that he's not a tarmac specialist. And while Coulthard is officially retired from racing, he is historically a tarmac, so this is his surface. But don't count Petter Solberg out. And look, they're giving each other the thumbs up.
Clayton Kingman is the passenger. The other guy works from Bull, of course, and he says he hates being a passenger. So he's chosen the wrong. He's chosen the wrong race to go out in. So. Because this is going to be absolutely no holds barred, isn't it? I don't mind going for a ride with them during practice, Neil, but I'm actually not sure that I'd want to be on board when they're fully lit. Yeah, we are talking fully lit now. Bit of brake warming. Look at that as well. Look how much Solberg, of course, always famous for the soft setups on his cars where you see a lot of movement in it, and he's finding his confidence with the car, how much he can brake, obviously trying to get some temperature into the tyres, into the brakes.
Oh, heart's pounding.
Full focus for Solberg. Through those glasses, he's going to be looking at only one thing, as is Coulthard. The 5 red lights are about to come on. This is a must-win situation for Petter Solberg in the inside lane. Brilliant start by Solberg. That's an absolute rocket ship off the line. He's got himself the very best chance of keeping up with David Coulthard, who is currently 1-0 with Solberg. Into the tightening left-hander. Up and over the bridge, it is Solberg. Oh, big jump in the ball as well. So Solberg is on an absolute flyer here.
Yeah, it was some of the biggest air we've seen off the down ramp of the jump of the bridge, so he clearly was getting an extra bit of pace out of that car over the bridge.
All the other drivers are out there. They're just as keen to see who's going to win this. They know that the pressure is on. They both run the cars right the way out to the outside, squealing of the tyres. These guys are absolutely on the limit. Off board, that's a fantastic shot as we see through the chicane and over the top of the bridge around the right-hander. We're on board with Coulthard now, looking back. Look at him working away at the wheel. You can hear the turbo working away as well. Coulthard is on the outside. This is for the Race of Champions title. Solberg's got to make some time up here. He's on the throttle. He's going to come down and take the checker flag. And it is David Coulthard who wins the Race of Champions. Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. The British driver has got the job done. It is his second Champion of Champion titles. Well done, DC. 2-0. Solberg. He'll be gutted, but DC got the job done. And I think we're going to see the victory donuts now as well. Here we go. Don't crash into each other, lads. My goodness me, that was so close. Solberg got the first donut off. You could tell he was like, I'm going to win something here. Like, I'm going to get the best donut. But Coulthard's done it, Neil. Coulthard's done it.
And David Coulthard on his 11th Race of Champions gets his second Race of Champions overall win and is Champion of Champions again.
how relaxed he is, by the way, donutting his car, away from the crowd, not even looking at where the steering's facing, perfectly parked next to each other. The crowd have enjoyed that. They're on their feet, they're applauding, and they should be, because this has been a great weekend of action here. First time this fantastic event has come out to the Middle East. We've been welcomed with open arms from the lovely, friendly people of Riyadh. Free tickets for them to come down and see the competition. Coulthard, look, he's out with DC and he's lost out. He's got second place. And he will be disappointed, but Solberg loves a good laugh too. He'll enjoy the banter. He's very happy that he's been here. We're going to head down to the holding area now and catch up with our finalists.
David Coulthard, can I be the second man, because your runner-up got there first, to say congratulations. You are Racer Champions, champion of champions, for a second time.
Well, there's something that you or I never expected to either say or hear, but David, thank you for that. Thank you, Frederick, for another great event.
Incredible.
And to Petter for being a good sport. Petter, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
It was really nice to drive with you. I always waited for this moment. Okay, you beated me, and that's maybe not the best, but I know that you are very, very good at this, and I'm very proud to drive with beside you.
Well, I had to work hard. You feel my heart. My heart is like pumping.
But I tried hard, I've been in this final now first time, and I really wanted to win. But you drove.
I'm sorry.
No, but you drove very well, so it's very deserved, But you are a better tarmac driver than me, that's for sure. I like a little bit more sideways.
You like it more slippy, don't you?
Yeah.
You didn't think that this was possible coming here? Seriously? Did you just come for the fun, or did you always think, being a previous champion, you had half a chance?
No, I'm always surprised when Frederick invites me, because I don't race anymore, but I'm delighted to have gone this far. My son yesterday switched off watching when I went out in the Nations Cup because he thought, Daddy's too old. But he would have been watching today, so it's great to have the old helmet there again, and and to have this camaraderie amongst all the drivers, and to have this first experience in Saudi. And the party might be a little bit different than we've had at other events, but we've had a wonderful welcome here.
Well, Daddy is definitely not too old. It makes me wonder why you ever bothered retiring in the first place.
Well, you didn't have me driving for you. You didn't have to pay the accident damage.
No accidents here. Petter, one final word from yourself. Once again, it didn't quite go for you on a personal level. You've won the Nations Cup before. You'll be back again to try and beat this man and the rest, won't you?
Well, this Racer Champion have been for many, many years, and it's been incredible to get all these drivers together. So I think Frederick and the team have done a fantastic job. We always enjoy to do it. So I will be back. I'm still young. When you see what this old man can do. So, that's true. But I want to actually give you a gift to be a driver with you in the final. My Norwegian gloves. You think
you'll bring me some luck?
Well, I just. I like you a lot, always done, so I just want to give you my gloves for a good fight and a good friend.
That is very, very kind, and he's a great sport, great champion, and as of all the other drivers here, so lovely gesture. In true Scottish style, I'm giving you nothing.
I know that.
Gentlemen, congratulations.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been watching Racer Champions. Great atmosphere, so thank you. I hope you enjoyed.
We did. Let's go and have a podium celebration.
Fantastic stuff, great. Full banter between them. Love Coulthard's remarks, typical Scott. That's great, isn't it? But really, really cool. Kristoffersson there to commiserate his teammate, and then we've got Christensen straight over, of course, to congratulate his and good friend from a long time in Racer Champions. Yeah, really good. Yeah, I think we're going to be able to have a look back at the final in a second, and we'll see if we can pick apart, if we can spot anywhere where it happened. But 2-0 to Coulthard, a job properly done.
But I just think today, certainly, this has been some of the best racing I've seen at Race of Champions. If you look at the way it's broken down, especially today, since the quarterfinals, every single one of those races has been good, dramatic, interesting, tight matchups, and everyone has delivered. It's been extraordinary, and I think today the best man has won.
I think so too, yeah. They've had to be fully committed to try to go through. Even when Ryan Hunter-Reay went off, that's because he's got to try that hard if he wants to make it. So, yeah, top work by all of those drivers, and of course those who went out in the earlier rounds as well. So it's been a good weekend of racing. DHL delivering. We know what's in the back of there.
Really? What's in the back?
Well, we saw yesterday, didn't we? There's a man in there with a couple of very big trophies, and the drivers will be pleased to be picking this up. I think DC was genuinely surprised that he's won it again. I know he comes for fun, but yeah, absolutely great. Here we go. hazard lights on. We're going to get those doors open in just a second. Driver coming out and around to the back. Well, we're going to head down to David Croft, who is down there among all the press from the world who are here to see the Champion of Champions at the Race of Champions. And David Croft will run us through the podium ceremony.
Welcome down to the podium area. The DHL van, the official logistics provider of the Race of Champions, has arrived, and with it, the Race of Champions, Champions of Champions trophy. Faisal El Hajami, the country general manager of DHL, brings the trophy then towards the stage. We're waiting on the stage His Royal Highness, the Vice Chairman of the General Sports Authority, Prince Abdulaziz bin Turki Al Faisal, and His Royal Highness, President of the Saudi Arabian Motorsport Federation, Prince Khalid bin Sultan Al Faisal, are waiting to present the trophy. And walking now on to the stage, this magnificent Champion of Champions trophy to be presented for a second time to Great Britain and Formula One's David Coulthard, champion in 2018. DC, not a stranger to receiving silverware, a glittering Formula One career, and now Champion of Champions in 2018. Don't drop it, DC. Don't drop it. Let's bring Petter Solberg, our runner-up, onto the stage as well. And a magnificent trophy for Petter Solberg as our runner-up. And it really is time to start the celebrations. A magnificent weekend here in Riyadh, where Petter Solberg and David Coulthard rolled back the years and emerged triumphant. Frederick Johnson, the founder and president of the Race of Champions, will join now our celebration party. Smiles all around for a magnificent weekend of racing. Petter Solberg and David Coulthard fighting out a brilliant final, and DC, the Champion of Champions. Posing for the photographers. And an awful lot of photographers here waiting to snap away at the smiles. DC looks to the heavens, and there are streamers and there is glitter waiting for him. And the countdown is 3, 2, 1, the champions!
That's a fantastic shot, isn't it, of the podium there, up into the sky, seeing the streamers come down. Beautifully clear skies out here in Riyadh. First time that the Race of Champions has come out to the Middle East.
And what an Arabian night we have had. It's been an absolute dream here in Saudi Arabia. Everything's gone extremely smoothly, but the smoothest thing was DC's driving, and it proved that neat and tidy, with pace. And of course, these guys were judging the E-Rock finalists yesterday, and they were all about car control and precision and pace.
Well, we're going to have a look back at the last race of the weekend. In fact, it's going to say the last race of the day. We're going to see the last race of the weekend. So this was Petter Solberg on the inside, David Coulthard on the outside. You can see the score at the bottom of your screen, 1-0, when the Petter Solberg had it all to do in this one. Off the line, it looked like it was going to be very close between them. And I have to say, Neil Cole, like, you know, in terms of picking out something where there was a mistake, I didn't see, although obviously we only see one car at a time on the television pictures as you do at home, I didn't see any particular mistakes necessarily. You think you did?
Yeah, looking out the window, I did notice that Petter was a little bit too sideways in that tricky left-hander to go under the bridge.
So maybe losing a bit of time on the throttle, but Coulthard came through at the end of the first lap. You could hear the tyres protesting. We knew the guys were on the limit. They really were. On board through the right-hander and the left. But as they came around towards the finish, we could see that Coulthard had an advantage at this point. It was going to be very, very hard. It was looking for a mistake, really, from Solberg. And we didn't get one. Sorry, from Coulthard. Yeah, he came round and took it. It was clean. Yeah, he was in front significantly.
And you have to say that that car with its low suspension does suit DC much more than it would Petter Solberg. That particular, on this occasion, he should have sealed the deal. Petter should have sealed the deal in the first race in the NASCAR, which suited him better because he knew he would be on the back.
That was where he needed. That was where he needed, wasn't it, to take the advantage? But he wasn't able to take the advantage. And Coulthard didn't make any mistakes. It was 2-0, and it was him who won the Race of Champions.
Fredrik, do you want to show? Getting closer, guys.
Our Richard Mille watch being presented to David Coulthard, new event sponsor, I believe, for this year. Fredrik was telling me yesterday, I met Fredrik's mum actually yesterday. She's lovely. So 4 generations of Fredrik's family here today. Standing on the podium with motocross bikes jumping over your head. I mean, that's new. We're raising the podium game significantly here, aren't we? You know, we're not with a podium. Let's have some interviews. I think we should fire motocross bikes to the top. Good idea, said someone. I think great, though.
Each of those bikes should actually have fireworks on them, so that as they're doing a backflip, it fires a firework. And that's next year.
That, Neil, is why you're not allowed in the creative department, because
back in that fireworks shop.
There's a man in the health and safety department who would be having an absolute nightmare if you were in charge of the podium ceremony. But in fact, I imagine the health and safety man's had a nightmare with the podium anyway. Sorry, you're doing what over there? Oh, well, yeah, fine, okay. Great stuff. Actually, really lovely camaraderie between Solberg and Coulthard. There's Terry Grant, look, full on donuts. But yeah, really nice. It's been that level of friendly, fierce competition all weekend. You can see their gutted when they go out, but you know, a few minutes later, like, do you know what? Mega experience, hung out with a few guys. They all do the same job, but all in such different ways, in such different levels. Some of them have finished their careers and are winding down. One of them's won the title. And then you've got guys who are on the way up, you know, they're runners up in F3 and they're becoming test drivers in F1. And it's so fantastic to see.
But that's the trademark of Race of Champions, is that it's the camaraderie. They come together and they learn from each other.
Thank you, of course, and let's bring welcome.
Well, Fredrik Jonsson, the president of Race of Champions, the man that came up with the concept. It's been a fantastic weekend. Are you pleased with what's happened? The 2 oldies coming and surprising us all, with Coulthard being crowned the champion.
I would have lost a lot of money today if I would have made a bet. I really didn't expect Petter and David to make it all the way to the final. I mean, fantastic drivers. You know, they haven't lost any of their skill at all. You know, they beat all the young kids today. And you know, they thoroughly deserve to be up here on the podium. And you know, once again, a fantastic event. The atmosphere has been amazing, and look forward to have them back next year.
How pleased are you to have brought something like this, a big international show and sports competition, to Saudi Arabia? Women allowed into the stadium for the first time in its history.
No, it's a big thing. We've never been in the Middle East before, and for our first event here to be in Riyadh, you know, it's really, really nice. To be the first big international event where women are allowed in the stadium. You know, we're making history here on many different levels.
And I have to ask you, Race of Champions, where next? When next? That's the question everybody wants to know at home.
Yeah, so like always, you know, we sit down for a few months, look at what's been positive and how we can grow this further. We want to go back to North America, but we have a lot of different people that have contacted us, and we'll look at all the different proposals and take a decision in the next few months.
Fredrik, thank you so much. Well done for the Race of Champions this weekend.
Thank you so
much. Yeah, brilliant event. Brilliant event, you know, fantastic to bring it here. Everyone was like, what's the reception going to be like? It's new. Motorsport is new to these fans, and I'm sure that as the love of the sport grows, you'll see the crowds grow to watch it here as well. They've all stayed tonight for the duration. Last night was a late night event. A lot of the families had kids with them, you know, great to see everybody stick around tonight. I'll let you see, they really mean it. It's great. They really mean it. They've had a good laugh.
From my experience, what happens is not only do they make friendships for life, and they then get sort of meet. So you know, some of these live in Monaco, some of them live in America, but they will actually make appointments to see each other. They'll be guests of each other at different race events they do. But crucially, sometimes little deals are done. That's what I like to see, is that people meet and go, oh, I'd quite like to have you as a teammate in the future. And it's all magic. It's the Arabian Nights magic.
What a weekend. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the first time ever that the Race of Champions has come to the Middle East. Yesterday, we had the brilliant Rock Nations Cup. It was a fantastic competition. We thought Latin America was out, then we found they were back in. They went through. It was a brilliant fight with Germany, who had 2 rookies with them. We weren't sure whether or not they would be able to get the job done, but they did. It was an 8th Rock Nations Cup win for them. My name's Andrew Coley. I've thoroughly enjoyed the commentary. I hope you've enjoyed Neil Cole being alongside me. My thanks to Jenny Gow and David Croft for all their hard work reporting from down in the pits. Today, of course, we moved on to the Race of Champions. We're looking forward to see who's going to win the 29th edition in the 30th year, the first time in this region of the world. Would it be one of the many rookies that we had with us, or would it be one of our legends? The question was answered. It was Coulthard for the second time. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Where will the Race of Champions be next? Stay tuned to all the social media channels for another fantastic competition next year.
Sky Sports F1. Feel it all.
This February, we've selected some of the best sing-alongs.
You're welcome.
And your favourite adventures. Movies so good, you have to watch again and again.
Well, it's your lucky day.
Just make sure there's enough space on the sofa for everyone.
It's a stampede!
Oh, foot! Movies for the whole family this February on Sky Cinema.
We can't do all the things you do. We can't drill, taper, trim, or find the perfect cut. No. But we can help you meet the few thousand more people who don't just live down the street. Help you fix his bike, her bike, his bike. And here, a few more times a day. Let's show the world what you can do.